Penn Hills Indians Football 95. Welcome to the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Jay Clark's in the Penn Hills Shopping Center, along with the head coach of the Penn Hills Indians, Neil Gordon. I'm Bill Navari. And Neil, going into this week's big matchup, 6-0 has to feel pretty good.
Well, it does. If you had asked me at the beginning of the season whether I thought we could be 6-0 at this point in time, I think that would have been more of a pipe dream than reality, considering the strength of the schedule that we did play. But the fact is we are 6-0. We've played some good football. We've stayed relatively healthy and looking for number 7.
Last week, you sort of got a huge monkey off your back to go 6-0. That, of course, was beating Woodland Hills last Saturday afternoon. You haven't beaten them for a couple of years. I know George Novak and a couple of coaches are good friends of yours, but also the first time that you've beaten Woodland Hills at Penn Hills, at U-Haas Stadium. It had to be a good feeling to finally beat them.
And last year, by the way, was the first time that Woodland Hills had ever beaten us at the Wolverina. A little bit switching the home field advantage there. I thought in the beginning of the year that Woodland Hills was a team that was going to scare me more than any team. We just didn't match up well. We are very strong against the run. Woodland Hills doesn't run the ball that much. We are short in the secondary. Woodland Hills had real tall receivers, an outstanding quarterback. Our biggest advantage to attacking a passing team is a strong rush up front. Woodland Hills' strength is a gigantic offensive line that excels in pass blocking. So to win that game 17-8 was certainly a monkey off my back, a big-time relief, and put Woodland Hills a little bit in a bind as far as a playoff spot is concerned. So we're elated in getting number 6 out of the way, needless to say.
Going into Saturday's game, you said the keys were going to be you need the pressure on Madae Williams, and also you need some great secondary coverage. And you got both of that Saturday afternoon. You had to be very pleased with the way the defense played.
We were concerned a number of times. Seneca Valley, we were concerned. We were certainly concerned against Plum with the playing of our secondary. You know, granted, Victor and Dwayne and Damian and Donnie Chichilla and those kids are playing. They're great athletes, but maybe a little bit too tired from their work on offense or whatever, so we stepped it up. Larry Gillespie and Timko really put a major emphasis on the pass rush and our secondary play, and it really paid off. To be able to hold Medea Williams and a Woodland Hills passing attack to 8 points is quite a feat. I think we had 7 or 8 sacks, which is a season for some teams, and we did the things that we had to do. The secondary, I thought, played an excellent game. And the pass rushing of Mike White, Damon Gibson, Corey Connors, Jeremy, and BJ was outstanding. So very pleased with that. And I think the teams that had planned on passing on us have to take a second look now, which is good.
The last 2 weeks before we start talking about your opponents, I said this week you're playing the best team that you've played so far this season. And I may start sounding repetitive by saying that, but when you look at the Central Catholic Vikings coming up this Friday night, they're 6-0 as well. And you have to agree that so far this will be the toughest team that you will face so far this season and probably the rest of the way.
I think so. At this point, I think so. Gateway still sits down there and still an unknown entity playing very well. But, I thought that McKeesport was the best team we had played thus far. Replaced McKeesport with Woodland Hills. They were certainly the best team that we played thus far. And the Central Catholic team this week, the fact that they're 6-0 is certainly no fluke. It's a team that John Fischetti down there, I think, has been waiting for a few years. Last year and the year before, they had great skilled kids, Bolger and Fleming and all those kids. Great skilled kids, but Brian Ray, also a tailback, they just didn't have an offensive line of any size or any type of experience. They were very small, 220, 215 across the front, and couldn't play with the big boys. Couldn't play with the size of McKeesport and Woodland Hills and certainly Penn Hills. But now John has, let's talk offense first, an offensive unit that is as squared away as any group you'd want to see. Quarterback Dean, who throws the ball very well, runs the team, deals the ball very well. A fullback who may be the best fullback in Western Pennsylvania, and Justin Kirpakis. Just signed a letter of content, a letter of intent and content.
He is content, I'm sure.
Letter of intent to Penn State the other day. Big-time fullback, even a bigger-time linebacker on defense. But they have a tailback, Brian Godfrey, who has 900 and some yards rushing already, and an offensive line that averages about 240, 245 pounds across the front. I know Bentley is a 2.5, 3-year starter. DeJadis is a 2 or 3 year starter. So they're solid all the way. They're split into 6-5. He can get up and get the ball. So offensively, it's a team that is well-versed, has no major weaknesses, and Central Catholic teams make no mistakes. They don't fumble the ball. They don't make penalties. They're squared away.
Even though Central has a heck of an offensive unit, you have to at least feel somewhat comfortable knowing the way the Indians played on defense Saturday, the way they executed. They stopped the running attack of Woodland Hills. They got the pressure on Medee Williams, and also the secondary with the newcomer of Charis Britt playing at safety helped slow down their passing attack. And you know you're going to need that this week, not only stopping the running game with Kirpakis, but also Deem to Holman is a deadly combination as well.
Well, Deem to Holman, Jason Holman, a Penn Hills boy, by the way, that went to Central. We knew a couple years ago when he went to Central that he was going to haunt us, and he did that last year, and he certainly will again on Friday night. Jason Holman is an outstanding athlete. He's a Victor Strader, Dwayne Thompson type of kid that can do it all. He's very quick. They will run him on a double dive sweep and bring him back from the slot position and run. And he's a big-time threat there, and his pass patterns are meticulously run. If the ball's near him, he's going to catch it and break some tackles. So Jason Holman is a threat too. I'm not sure that we have faced a power running attack like Central Catholic. We certainly haven't faced a 235-pound fullback that's going to isolate linebackers and kick out ends, and a running back of Godfrey's talents and size, 6'2", 185. So this will be the true test of our defense against the run.
You talk about their size offensively, especially Kirpakis coming out of the backfield. Whenever they don't have the ball and Penn Hills is on offense, Kirpakis is the linebacker. You like to run the ball up the middle. They should establish that, and you know you're going to be going right at Justin Kirpakis. How are you preparing for that?
Well, I think we have to go right at Justin Kirpakis. We don't really have a choice. I think McKeesport last week in the Central McKeesport game tried to run away from him or try to run wide and get away from him, and he made tackles all over the field. I thought that the game that our linebacker, Tom Tumblety, played at McKeesport 3 or 4 years ago was one of the best games that I ever saw a linebacker play in high school football. Kirpakis' game against McKeesport the other night rivaled that. You could probably count on one hand the number of tackles that he did not make. It's just all over the field. There's no doubt that Penn State got a big-time player there. He's got long arms, great range. He's very tall, and he's just a picture-perfect linebacker. And if we don't do a better job of blocking him than McKeesport, the results will be the same.
What are the keys to the offense? If you are able to establish the running game up the middle, then what do? Do you just keep running it that way, or are you going to start mixing some things in? Or what happens if you just can't get that running game going up the middle?
Well, we have to get the running game going up the middle. If Central's going to stop our running game and force us to do some things that we'd rather not do, we have some problems. I'm confident in our ability to go off tackle. I'm confident in our ability to run sweeps. And I'm confident in Lenny Gilmer's ability to throw the ball. I would like to be able to do all of those things. We are not going to line up in a power eye and tell Kirpakis we're coming right at you, you try to stop us, because he will. I think we need to run the sweeps and throw the passes and try to get him biting on a dive and get outside. Again, the same thing, it's very repetitive. We need to be well balanced and be able to attack them at every different area. We plan on using a lot of misdirection. Kirpakis seems to bite hard, and we can, maybe use a little scissors type thing to get him to bite here and break it the other way. But I think the bottom line is that we need to execute a big-time challenge this week in a game within a game. I think our center, Jared Smith, against their nose guard, Bentley, he's a national powerlifting champion. He squats close to 700 pounds. He's a 3-year starter. And for the most part, it's going to be Jared isolated on that nose guard. And if we don't control the nose, then we have the nose and Kirpakis that we need to be concerned about. And we have some problems up the middle.
If you look at the Penn Hills Indians playbook and you look at the playbook of the Central Catholic Vikings, you look at almost two identical playbooks, although on defense they play the 5-2, whereas you play the 3-4. But a lot of the offensive formations are all the same. I know you and your brothers went to Central, and the Fischetti boys all went to Penn Hills, and you even have a Fischetti still coaching for Penn Hills. We may be trading a lot of info back and forth?
I think that there are a lot of things that I have brought to Penn Hills that I remember from my Central Catholic days. I'm sure that there are a lot of things that John has instituted down at Central that he has learned from the Penn Hills playbook for sure. We are both slot I, pro I teams. We run the powers and the ISOs and the sweeps. We run the double dive series. Our pass patterns are very similar. I don't know if it's the plays that are as similar as it is the philosophy. I don't believe in junking up an offense and doing crazy things. I want to keep it basic and run the basic plays and run them to perfection and ask the teams on defense to stop that. And I think John's the same way. He's going to run the powers and the ISOs and the sweeps. You're not going to see too many trick plays from John. He's going to teach his kids to reach block and down block and double team and tackle and do those kind of things. And like I said before, it's the philosophies are the same. I could bring John onto my staff, and he would probably know the entire package in one day, and vice versa. I think the nomenclature is still the same. So I don't think that other than a trick play, if somebody gets behind, I expect to see a very, very basic 1970s type football game on Friday night.
How are the kids staying focused going game in and game out? I know that they're talking, as they say, Trey Riv, and each team is standing in their way each week. You're ranked second in the WPIAL, second in the state. A lot of teams might say, well, we're the guys on the block. You come knock us off. This is what we do. But yet, week in and week out, you're preparing for each team differently and adjusting to their strengths instead of saying, these are our strengths, you play to them. How are you just going about and staying focused week after week?
Well, we compare, and we talk to our young men quite a bit on the fact that we had a lot of talent in 92, a lot of talent in 93, a lot of talent in 94, and we were derailed every year. 94 was a pretty good football team. I think the injuries kind of caught us there. But in 92 and 93, we had some good teams, and at some point in time, they lost their focus, overlooked an opponent, and as I said before, did not get the Three Rivers. We've drilled that into the minds of these young men. Most of these kids have started for 2 or 3 years. They've been down the road with us. They know what it takes. And thus far, the 95 team has proven to be different. Things that wouldn't have happened in past years. We keep referring to Damien Germany's interception on the quarterback throw back at Butler. That was a play that probably would have caught somebody with their pants down the last few years. Our last drive in the Woodland Hills game the other day, a 55, 60-yard drive to go up 17-8 to prevent them from getting one score was a real character tester for us and so forth. The fact that we haven't turned the ball over and had the stupid penalties and so forth has certainly played a major key. So maybe this is a team of destiny. We're certainly trying to get them to believe that. And again, the injuries. We've been relatively healthy, knock on wood, so we'll see what happens.
Friday, you're at Rooney Stadium on the campus of Duquesne University, playing on AstroTurf. Advantages, disadvantages?
I think it's an advantage to us because our kids want to play on it. Central plays on it every week or most weeks, and it's a little bit old hat to them. It's something new for our kids. They're excited about it. You kind of eliminate the idea of a mud bath. So, we can feel confident it's going to be a semi-dry surface and so forth. So, I think advantage Penn Hills.
I know I like it up in the booth. The yard markers are still there, and you can still read the numbers in the second half.
Yep.
Each week you bring a couple of seniors. This week you brought a couple of kids with not a lot of football experience.
We always try to do some recruiting in the school every year to find those quality kids that are going to add to our program, the kids with character and great work ethic and so forth. We don't really care if they're ninth graders or seniors. If they're quality kids, we want them in our program. We went out and successfully recruited 2 athletes from other sports this year, 3 including Charles Britt, but we'll talk to him at another time. But the 2 young men today, the first one, Phil Kizzy. Phil Kizzy is a star in the baseball team, outstanding student, class act, great kid with character. Asked Phil to come out and be a part of our program to help us as a backup, help us on special teams, and that's exactly what he's done. Asset to the program, has given us great looks on the scout teams, has played on the kickoff team, and has been on the specialty teams for us. And we're not 6-0 without Phil Kizzy around. The other one is very similar, Sully Grice. Sully is an outstanding wrestler for Glenn Clark and the Penn Hills wrestling team. Outstanding student. On top of it all, just a kid with great class and character. if you want to have a son, Sully, you'll take Sully in a minute. Great athlete on a wrestling mat, but when I would see the matches, I noticed his character and his attention to the detail, and watched his mannerisms in school. He's a great athlete, and again, asked Sully to come out to be a part of it, and he's done the same thing that Phil has. Great character, play on special teams. If you would ask him to go lick the fence, he'd go and lick the fence. He's just a super kid, and again, we're not going to be where we are without Phil and Sully, so. I think you might want to ask these two young men what are their impressions of the program. Is it tougher than they thought, more disciplined, less disciplined? Just their impressions. That would be interesting. But my impression of these two is they're 10s on a scale of 1 to 10 for sure. You'll love talking to them.
And we look forward to it. Best of luck Friday night against your alma mater.
Alma mater.
I'm not going to ask you to sing the old blue and gold.
I can't do it though, but I'm not going to.
That's the head coach of the Penn Hills Indians, Neil Gordon. Coming up next, talking to our seniors of the week, right here on the Coach's Corner on Penn Hills Indians Football 95. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. It's our segment of the week is where we talk to our seniors of the week. Right beside me, to my near right, Phil Kizzy, and to my far right, Sully Grice, a couple of young men new to football, not new to athletics. Phil plays baseball, as does Sully. Sully also a wrestler, as they'd like to say. Gentlemen, you guys were recruited, as Coach Gordon likes to say, to get you out onto the football field this year. How do you compare the football experience to experiences with baseball and maybe even wrestling? We'll start with you, Phil.
It's pretty hard. It's a lot harder, but I was up to the challenge. I wanted to try it out.
I understand that about coachings and about coaching staff and things. Whenever you play varsity sports and that, you know that it's going to be an everyday thing, and it's almost the same, But it's just good. I like it.
Is it what you guys expected? Harder, easier, or just what you expected?
I didn't know what to expect, but it's pretty hard. But you get used to it after a while.
Having fun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having fun. It's hard because you don't know a lot. That's all. Just ignorant to the system.
Now, Coach Gordon says he's getting you guys in, especially on the special teams. How is that helping to acclimate you to what's going on with the Indians?
Yeah,
It just helps us feel involved, because that's pretty much, at first all you can do until, you learn the system of defense and offense. But I like special teams.
Well, I haven't really played too much special teams, so I just play scout, and I help out, make a look, for the next game, since it's my first year.
What do you guys, I know there's really not a lot that you, each week it's something new for you guys. It's a new experience. What are you guys looking to experience this year and going into life after football? We'll start with you this time, Sully.
Well, life after football. Well, if I learn enough, I might walk on to a team, maybe. If I learn enough. I don't know. Life after football, I gotta just see what God tells me to do, And that's basically it.
I just feel that I just wanted a new experience. I figured I could be pretty good at it, so I just wanted to try it.
You guys looking forward to baseball season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I gotta practice a little bit.
That spring and the winter's over then, huh?
Yeah, I gotta look forward to the rest of the season.
What are your goals for football though?
Well, my goal is learn enough, learn a whole lot, learn as much as I can. Just do my best and to learn a lot.
My goal is to, sometime down the line, maybe get in games and be a backup.
Any predictions for the Indians this season?
Well, I hope we win the championship, I think we have a chance to, too. We can win the championship. It's going to be hard work, though, and I hope we just don't slack off. But I think we can win it.
Me too. I think we're going to go all the way.
Confidence, but not overconfidence.
Oh, you can't be overconfident, because if you're overconfident, then that's whenever you mess up.
All right, well,
we're confident.
we talked to Steelers and the Jaguars then, right? Huh?
Yeah.
You talked to the
I think we're going
overconfidence.
to go all the way, though.
I do
Not
too.
being
I believe-
overconfident, but I do
yeah.
think we're
You guys going week to week, playing, just looking forward to playing Central this week,
That's what I do.
and not looking past them at all.
I'm looking down the line, but I'm saying
You have to focus this week on
Yeah,
the
focus,
Vikings.
but you can't help but to think, yeah, I mean, we got a shot. So,
Well, certainly I hope you guys make it. I'd like to see you guys on Three River Stadium and possibly even farther. And best of luck with wrestling and baseball to the both of you. If you're able to bring a championship home with football this year, hopefully you'll be able to do the same with wrestling and as well with baseball.
I hope so.
And best of luck into whatever you guys plan on doing after graduation.
Okay.
Our seniors of the week, right beside me, Phil Kizzy, and to my far right, Solly Grice. A couple of great young men on a great football team, the Penn Hills Indians. This has been the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Jay Clarkson, the Penn Hills Shopping Center. Coming up next, the Penn Hills Indians and the Central Catholic Vikings, a battle of the unbeatens, right here on Penn Hills Indians Football 95. From the AstroTurf of Arthur J. Rooney Athletic Field on the campus of Duquesne University, on the bluff of Duquesne University. Tonight, the Penn Hills Indians and the Central Catholic Vikings vie for what probably will turn out as the Quad East Conference Championship. Both teams 6-0 and undefeated in conference play go at it tonight. And Bob, it is a battle of the Titans in the Quad East.
Definitely a battle of the Titans. Both teams 6-0 and 3-0 in the Quad East. Penn Hills is 3-0 or 6-0 for the first time since 1980. Central Catholic for the first time since 1978. And last week, big victories over rivalries. Of course, every week is a rivalry in the Quad East. Penn Hills defeated Woodland Hills last Saturday 17-8, and it was Central Catholic over McKeesport 14-7 in overtime.
Central Catholic has done it as well as the same as Penn Hills has so far this season with defense and also with offense. The Central Catholic Vikings averaging over 33 points a game, giving up about 7 points a game. The Penn Hills Indians about 28 points per game, giving up about 9 points. So they're very evenly matched. A couple of teams almost identical, almost using the same formations. In fact, the coaches are alumni of their opposition.
Just one of the many similarities you can look at in the angles going into this game. Rushing is the big thing for both teams. You know, Penn Hills and Ground Gordon likes to turn it upfield with Dwayne Thompson and Victor Strader, Garrett Livingston, Lenny Gilmer, Ronnie Graham. Central's been doing it with rushing also. Their big stud is Justin Krupikis, a big-time player who is going to go to Penn State after the season is over, and also Brian Godfrey. So two teams that have size in the lines, and they're mirror images of each other, and they like to just have that ball control offense going and take the clock away from the other team.
A lot of the talk has been on Krupakis on offense, but also, as you mentioned, Godfrey. Both have over about the same rushing yards. Both scored 8 touchdowns so far in the season. They're splitting the time rushing, but the big name on defense is Justin Krupakis at that linebacking position.
Krupakis is a stud. He can get the job done. A senior, as I mentioned, going to Penn State. Interesting that DeMond Gibson will line up across from him. He's going to Pitt. It's a Pitt-Penn State rivalry, I guess, a preview of the future. But Justin Krupikis can get the job done. His forte is definitely defense, and Penn Hills will try to direct their attack away from Justin Krupikis, which is a smart thing to do.
Obviously, at the beginning, you're going to want to run at him to try to get Central Catholic to over-pursue, and then I think the Indians are going to go to a lot of the misdirection.
Misdirection is the key. If you get a team that's aggressive on defense, as is Central, they will pursue. If you get a play where you have more than one option, sometimes a reverse, or you change direction, when you get a team that's aggressive, they will over-pursue, and then it opens up the weak side of the field, and that's what Penn Hills will hope for, some big plays with their misdirection offense.
Obviously, whoever turns over the ball least will have the advantage tonight, but also one of the points to note is the kicking game as well. Special teams, the Penn Hills Indians may have found a weakness on the Central Catholic punting game.
Well, the special teams always play a key, and Penn Hills likes to exploit it. We saw them take a few opportunities to exploit it earlier this season, and if they get a chance to do it tonight, I'm sure they're going to take it. You don't want to just have all-out bent for leather rush, but the special teams will be a key. And as you mentioned, the kicking game, we're down here on the turf. Field conditions will be beautiful, and so the weather conditions will also be beautiful. So that won't have any effect on the special teams or any other aspect of play tonight.
What does it mean for the team that wins? Obviously, they're in the driver's seat, but also what does it mean for the team that loses tonight's game?
Well, for the team that loses, there's still hope. They only have one loss. but you'd rather be in the driver's seat to control your own destiny. A team that would lose tonight, be it Central or Penn Hills, they would maybe need some help later on down the season, where the team that wins knows if they win their next 3 games, then they will be the Quad East champions.
It's probably whoever wins tonight is almost guaranteed a playoff spot tonight. So sit back and relax. Coming up next, the Central Catholic Vikings and the Penn Hills Indians, the winner, probably on their way to the playoffs. The loser could still make the playoffs, but it's going to be a tough road for the Quad East Championship. Sit back, relax. Here it is, next on Penn Hills Indians Football 95. The battle of the unbeatens in the Quad East. Tonight, the Penn Hills Indians and the Central Catholic Vikings from the Bluff on the campus of Duquesne University, overlooking the Monongahela River, almost in downtown Pittsburgh. Along with my broadcast partner, Bob Orkwis, I'm Bill Navari. Great to have you along on a beautiful October Friday evening. Tonight, Bob, the Penn Hills Indians, Central Catholic Vikings, in a game which undoubtedly will determine the Quad East Championship.
Without a doubt, once again, Quad East week in, week out, tough conference rivalries. Penn Hills defeated their fierce rival last week, Woodland Hills, last Saturday. And again, this rivalry is a storied rivalry. Some great games throughout history, and both teams we mentioned in the pregame, 6-0, 3-0. The Quad East, they are atop the Quad East. Gateway and Plum are 2-1. McKeesport, Woodland Hills are 1-2. And Fox Chapel and Kiski area 0-3. So you can see the implications this game has on the overall playoff picture.
Tonight's winner in the driver's seat for the Quad East Championship. Tonight's loser will say, we need to win the remaining games and hope whoever wins tonight loses 2 of the next 3 to have any kind of chance at winning the conference championship. The Central Catholic Vikings won the toss. They've elected to receive. They will move left to right, dressed in their blue pants, blue jerseys with white numbers. Minnesota Viking-looking helmets. The Indians going right to left. Red pants, white jerseys, red numbers, and the gold helmets. Dave Zakia, number 14, to kick off for the Penn Hills Indians. Standing down near his own goal line is Brian Godfrey for the Central Catholic Vikings. Zakia with a high kick going to the up man, Ray Riley. Riley up the middle with some running room, and he'll be brought down about the 38-yard line, and the ball is loose on the turf. It looks like the Indians have come up with it. The officials have ruled him down. The ball has come out and onto the turf. And the Central Catholic Vikings look like they're going to start off with a break from the beginning, Bob.
Indeed, down there to cover up the football was Ramon Lewis. And he came up with the football after Riley fumbled it, but the officials ruled him down. So Central will start at just over their own 37. We'll call it the 38.
Number 19, Justin Deem, the quarterback. The up back, the big man, number 25, Justin Kirpakis. Also in the backfield, Brian Godfrey. Dean's going to roll to his left. He has some running room. Nice block on the far side of the field to allow Dean to get some running room. Short of the first down. We'll call it a pickup of about 6. 2nd and 4. And an interesting play call from the beginning from Central Catholic.
A little play action pass. They fake their run pass, and Deem has the option to look for a short receiver about 5 yards and tuck it up. He tucked it under, ran it up the far sideline, picked up a nice gain of 6 on first down.
Again, Kirpakis and Deem in the backfield. Twins to the near side. And delayed handoff this time to Godfrey. Godfrey's being chased down in the backfield. He's going to be brought down for a loss. First man in pursuit was Garrett Livingston. Hoggy, the psychotic one, Jeremy George following up.
Ronnie Graham. Jeremy George. Graham with some good pursuit, shows some good speed. Godfrey can run the football. He'll lose 5. And Jeremy George, King Jeremy the Wicked, sporting some new-looking nifty turf shoes out there.
A lot of the kids wearing turf shoes tonight, but also a large number wearing the sneakers. Just the plain old tennis shoes because of the dry weather conditions. 3rd and a good ways to go. Still have yet to see Justin Kirpakis. And Deem delays it on the handoff, and he's brought under pressure by Jeremy George, and the ball overthrown. Flag will be thrown on the play. Flag thrown from behind on an uncatchable ball, but apparently that makes no difference. Pass interference will be called against the Indians. That'll give the Central Catholic Vikings a first down, whereas they would have punted. But still, Justin Deem just able to get that ball away. Jeremy George on the pressure.
Indeed had his man, ran a slant and a little button hook into the middle then afterwards, and the ball was not catchable, number one. It was very, very high, and it was thrown into quadruple coverage. But the second break of the game, the first of all, Central rolled down on the fumble on the opening kickoff, and now a penalty interference call gives them a first down inside Penn Hills territory at the 45.
Lone setback is Karpakis. Expect to see him with the ball this time. Twins right man in the slot. And Deem's going to throw, swings it out to Karpakis, almost picked off. But Karpakis able to pick up 2. Looked like John Davidson almost picked it off, and if he was able to do that, he was gone for 6. The Indians playing the 3-4 defense. The big hogs up front, Mike White, Damon Gibson, also the Piglet, as they like to call him, Corey Connors, number 69. Jeremy George, Ronnie Graham, and B.J. DiNatale in at the linebackers, along with Garrett Livingston. 22, Dwayne Thompson. Number 19, Charles Britt. 21, Victor Strader. And on the far side, Damian Germany. And again, Deem's going to throw, and again he's under pressure. Gets the ball out to Karpakis on the near side of the field. He's knocked out of bounds at the 32 by Ronnie Graham. It'll be good enough for a Central Catholic first down, and Justin Deem is getting just enough time.
Indeed, he's looking for the short route, the play he ran, the first play from scrimmage, looking short, and besides from the interference call, he's thrown twice short in the right flat to Karpakis, picks up enough for the first down.
9:45 to go, first quarter. Game still scoreless. Opening drive of the game. The Central Catholic Vikings with the football, already receiving 2 big breaks on the drive. Godfrey in motion. And Deem again under pressure, gets it out to Godfrey, who makes a nice one-handed catch. He's over the 20, the 15, cuts back. And Godfrey down to the 12-yard line. Nice catch by Brian Godfrey. Got the one hand out to bring in the pass. And again, the Indians are getting pressure on Deem, and he's just getting up all the way.
Indeed he is, and that time again looking into the right flat, and you have all individual effort by Brian Godfrey with a great catch and run down to about the 13-yard line. And Central's sitting pretty, 1st and 10 at the 13.
Brian Godfrey, 5'9", 185, is a senior. Still yet to see Karpakis running the ball into the backfield. And this time it's Godfrey, bobbles the handoff, excuse me. Still able to get out across the 10-yard line, a pickup of about 2. And it seems like the Central Catholic Vikings are presuming they're going to go out the Penn Hills Indians with the pass.
Maybe changing up a little bit last year. They are definitely favoring the pass. Godfrey, their leading rusher, just under 800 yards rushing on the season. You mentioned in the pregame 8 touchdowns apiece for him and Karpakis.
Twins to the left now for the Central Catholic Vikings. Deem's going to pass, throwing out wide open onto the near side of the football field. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, getting down close to the goal line. We'll see if they call it. No, they'll be down close to the goal line, about the 2-yard line. That was Jason Holman, number 24. Mark it about the 2. It'll be 1st and goal from the 2. Now do you expect to see Karpakis out of the backfield?
You may. He's a bull of a runner. He's hard to bring down, but his forte is also blocking. He can open up holes for Brian Godfrey, but inside from the 2-yard line, I think you'll see Karpakis pop it up into the line.
Wasn't it Jason Holman last year who had the ball go off his helmet in the end zone towards the end of the game?
I think you're correct.
To preserve a Penn Hills victory last year. 1st and goal, Karpakis up, Godfrey back, Deem the quarterback, and it is Karpakis, first man through, touchdown Central Catholic. Justin Karpakis will give him 2 yards and 6 points. The Central Catholic Vikings take the opening drive in for the touchdown. They'll try for the point after now. 6-0 Central over Penn Hills with 7:52 to go, first quarter. And Bob, it appears the Central Catholic Vikings were able to do whatever they wanted.
Indeed, they did, especially mixing the pass well with the run, and Godfrey with a nice catch and a big interference call on 3rd down keeps the drive alive, and Central punches it in, and they'll bring on their place kicker for the conventional extra point, Dave Singh.
Deem on the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 7:52 to go, first quarter, Central Catholic 7, Penn Hills yet to get their hands on the football. Obviously, Bob, with a lot of time to go first quarter, this is definitely not a time for the Penn Hills Indians to do any kind of panicking. They have fallen behind this season so far and have come back.
Indeed, you never want to panic on the first drive. It's got to give Central a little bit of confidence, though. But Penn Hills, we'll see what they do offensively. Traditionally, they maybe start slow every game this year. Of course, we had the fumble in the opening kickoff, and it was not called. But it'll be interesting to see if Penn Hills mixes in the pass. You know, they prefer to run the football. I can't hear these.
Justin Kirpakis, number 25, putting the ball on the tee. He'll do the kickoff, does the kicking duties.
He is a talent. We talked about him in the pregame, and we mentioned that he has accepted a scholarship to Penn State. So he's that good of a player, and officially Kirpakis is listed at 6'4" and 235, and he's very, very active from his middle linebacker position.
Central Catholic squibs. It'll go out of bounds for the Indians about the 34-yard line. Trying to get his hands on it was Craig Gilmer, Lenny's little brother, and the Indians will get their first possession at about the 34. Not much worse opening field position than Central got. So we'll see what the Indians can do. Number 3, Lenny Gilmer, the quarterback. Damian Germany and B.J. DiNatale in at the ends. Dwayne Thompson, Victor Strader in the backfield. Also B.J. DiNatale at the tight end position on the right. And first man through is Dwayne Thompson. And Thompson will pick up about 2 or 3. He'll cross the 35. And watch for the Indians to establish that inside, try to establish that inside running game and then try to break something outside.
Thompson will pick up about 2.5, but it was interesting to see after Kirpakis got blocked, he picked up the second man through, which was Strader. Thompson had the ball on the quick off tackle dive, and Kirpakis, who Penn Hills acknowledges the key to their defense, he kind of keyed on Victor Strader.
First man through is Thompson with some running room. Thompson out to about the 39-yard line. Third and about 5 for the Indians. Thompson with a nice move to get a ball to the outside, but credit to Central Catholic defense to not let Dwayne Thompson get much more than the 3 yards he picked up. So Thompson and Hoggy Livingston split, but it's Lenny Gilmer on the keeper. Lenny Gilmer gets across midfield down to the Central Catholic 45, and a nice bit of running on the quarterback keeper by Lenny Gilmer.
We talked about Gilmer's athletic ability, and he showed it there. A good read. That was an option play. It's up to the quarterback to either keep the ball, tuck it up, or pitch it out. He made the right decision, cut it off tackle, and a good pickup for Lenny Gilmer. About 15 yards.
So the Indians get their initial first down of the game. That should give them some confidence. So now the Indians go back to the I formation. And the Indians will be marked for 5.
Like a little bit of antsiness in the offensive line. And second penalty of the game goes against Penn Hills, so they'll start now first and 15. The ball moves back, but Len Gilmer, we talked about it all season. He's a dangerous runner when he puts it up and tucks it up. He made a great decision to pick up the big gain on the first down. Ball at midfield, excuse me.
.6:12 to go first quarter. Central Catholic 7, Penn Hills nothing. Bill Navari along with Bob Orkwis on a Friday evening in October. You can't ask for much better weather than we have tonight. It's almost summer-like tonight, Bob.
Indeed it is.
Thompson's going to be brought down in the backfield. Number 69, Brian Adams, gets into the backfield to stop Thompson. We'll call it a loss of about half a yard. So now it's second, and we'll call it 16.
Indeed, Adams shot the gap from the tackle position and got in the backfield to disrupt that. Before it got outside, Thompson could not get any leg drive going and loses about the half a yard.
Livingston up, Thompson deep. Keep an eye on Dwayne Thompson's ankles. Has him heavily taped. Lenny Gomer's going to throw the football. Deep. And it's Victor Strader for the Penn Hills touchdown! The Penn Hills Indians on their longest pass play of the season. We'll call it 51 yards. Gilmore to Strader, 7-6 Penn Hills, and just like that, the Indians strike back.
And I'll tell you what, two men were open. Graham was also open, but Strader with a nice catch, good concentration down the far sideline. 51 yards indeed, their longest pass play, and their initial passing touchdown of the season puts them right back into the game. 5:26 left, first quarter.
Victor Strader came from nowhere. It looked like Gilmore was throwing into double coverage to Ronnie Graham, and out of nowhere comes Victor Strader to take the ball along the sideline for the Penn Hills touchdown. Dave Zakia trying to point after to tie it up. The kick is up and good. 5:26 to go, first quarter. Penn Hills and Central all tied up. The Penn Hills Indians obviously getting a boost of confidence, scoring on their opening drive to match the tally of the Central Catholic Vikings. And Bob, now, how important is it for the Penn Hills Indian defense to keep the Central Catholic Vikings out of the end zone on this drive?
I think they'd want to settle things down after the opening drive, and they did a good job. As they had them stopped, it was a penalty on third down that kept that drive alive. They're going to have to watch for the little quick passes that Dean threw out in the flat. And on the season, it is touchdown number 4 for Victor Strader, and his first through the air, the first for Penn Hills through the air.
Zakia to kick off. Godfrey is deep, and Godfrey will take it at his own 10. 15-20. Godfrey looking for some room up the middle. Brought down at the 28. Marking at the 27-yard line. Still a 17-yard return for Godfrey. The Penn Hills Indians with much better kickoff coverage. Neil Gordon, head coach of the Penn Hills Indians, says special teams a big part of tonight's game. That has yet to be seen, but nice coverage on that kickoff by the Indians. Again, Kerpikis and Godfrey in the backfield. Justin Deem, number 19, the quarterback. Flags fly. They'll mark off 5 against Central Catholic. Got some movement on the line. You'll see the call. And that it is. First penalty of the game going against the Central Catholic Vikings.
Well, you'll see that when you're in a game that's as big as this, and the rivalry and the tensions are high, and you're Jones phone, and sometimes you're getting a little bit antsy. We saw Penn Hills get called for, the legal procedure, and Central's first penalty of the game starts them first and 15, just over their own 20.
Justin Deem on the reverse to Holman, it appears. Holman cuts back the other way. Nice pursuit by the Indians, and Holman be lucky if he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and if he does, that's a nice bit of running by Holman. Picks up a yard.
He will pick up a yard, and Holman brought down by Graham. Also, Donnie Chichilla and Mike White, who stayed home in his defensive tackle position. Holman with a lot of running just to pick up that 1 yard on the reverse. Central with some misdirection offense of their own.
Dave Haber, number 7, split to the near side of the field. And there goes Justin Deem rolling out to the near side. He's in pursuit, throws to the sideline. Flag will fly on that one. Go figure again. Again, the pass was uncatchable, but they'll call the Indians on a pass interference. And it appears the officials are calling this one extremely tight.
Very close to the vest, and this one will be called against Dwayne Thompson, but as not with the first one, I'll be tending more to agree with this call by the officials in the first down. Even though the pass was very high along the sideline, Thompson did throw the shove into the receiver, and Dean was rolling out, and he had Homan came down the seam in the middle of the field and wide open, but good thing for the pressure for Penn Hills. Homan picked up the short man, but it works out at first down again on a penalty for Central Catholic.
the Penn Hills Indian defense appearing to be playing with moxie here in the first quarter. Somewhat overly aggressive on the pass coverage. But a first down now for the Vikings, and it's Godfrey. And Godfrey sucked under by the team picture at the 40-yard line.
Unlike Karpakis, obviously, with his size, you know, he's a bull of a runner. But Godfrey is just a pure speed runner. He has a lot of speed and a lot of great moves. And the key, obviously, to containing him is to clog up the lanes. You don't want him to get a good head start because he's tough to catch. And so far, Penn Hills has done a nice job containing him in the early going. 7-7 as we have 3:39 on the turning clock.
2nd and 8 for the Central Catholic Vikings. Deem looks like he's setting up to screen to Godfrey, and there it is on the near side. Godfrey with a lot of running room. A lot of blue in front of him, looking for some blockers, and he's sucked under at the 49. First down for Central Catholic, and a nice play by the Vikings.
It looked wide open. Came up 12-yard. Godfrey catching some nice running ability with the football afterwards. Twice he's made some nice moves after catching a pass.
It appears so far Central Catholic's philosophy from head coach John Fischetti is the Indians are going to be keen on Karpakis, so let's give it to everybody but. And this time it is Karpakis. And Karpakis, the bull, picks up 6. You just saw his brute strength there, dragging people along before he was brought down. And that is the strength of Karpakis.
Deem so far in the first half throwing the ball 5 of 5 for 52 yards, and the second carry will give him a gain of 5 for Justin Karpakis, and now 2 carries, 7 yards, and the 2-yard touchdown run.
Now 2nd and 5 with 2.5 to go first quarter, all tied at 7. Central Catholic dressed in blue, moving left to right. They have the football. And Deem again's going to throw. Flags fly at the line of scrimmage. Deem is flushed out. We'll lose about half a yard, but we'll see what the flags are.
Flag is down to 48. It looks like in the area generally where you get offensive holding, and that's what we do.
That
now.
it is.
And I think even though it is a loss of about 1 for Deem, I think Penn Hills will take the penalty.
Because then it'll be a loss of 15 from the spot of the foul, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which is also 5 yards deep in the backfield. They'll push it back up a yard, so it'll be a loss of 14. So it'll be 2nd. Looks like about 18.
So the ball goes from actually like a 20-yard difference, a little over. It goes from the Penn Hills 43 to the Central 43.
In fact, we'll call it a 2nd and 20.
That's a 14-yard difference in field position for Central Catholic.
The Indians showing blitz on a 2nd and 20. Karpakis is the lone man in the backfield. Godfrey's in motion. And Justin Deem's going to pass. Garrett Livingston, nice pressure. The ball thrown downfield, overthrown. Intended for Bob Slowikowski. Dwayne Thompson with a nice position on the coverage. Ball overthrown, falls incomplete. Now 3rd and 20 for Central Catholic. And do they dare throw the ball long again for a turn, try for the turnover, or play something conservative?
Well, we've seen some success. Central has some success in the early going with a short pass, so maybe they'll try that again, a nice executed screen. That time, as again we've seen throughout the first quarter here, Penn Hills getting a lot of pressure. That time it was Livingston forcing Dean to throw that ball way before he wanted to, before Slowikowski could actually get into his pattern.
So, of course, Dean has also been called for 2 pass interference penalties in the first quarter. Can go into play in John Fischetti's mind. Dean with a little swing pass, and the ball is dropped on the near side of the field by Tony Fratangelo. And the Central Catholic Vikings' second drive has been stymied. And it appears they did more to stymie it themselves than the Indians did.
They did have some success moving the ball once again. They got into Central territory, but the penalty and the holding call takes it back. And can Justin Karpakis do it all? He also centers the ball on punt snaps.
Justin Dean, the quarterback.
Remember that, he is also their quarterback.
And a short kick. Victor Strader will let it bounce, and he'll pick it up at the 15. Picks up 5 yards on the return. Nice job by Strader. As dangerous a play as it was, he still was able to pick up the ball and gets the ball close to the 20. If he let it go, the Indians would have taken over inside the 10.
I think the danger about it was he could have came up and got that on a better bounce. He kind of got a short hop, and for a second there, it looked like he was having trouble with it. But a nice job, because if he doesn't get that, as you said, that ball rolls towards the goal line, and Penn Hills starts in the shadow. Instead, they're right inside their own 20. So that's a good play, a smart heads-up play by Victor Strader.
Livingston and Thompson split. Not Strader, excuse me. And it is Strader with the carry. He'll dive ahead for about 4. As we're under a minute and a half to go in a tied first quarter. The Indians and the Vikings score on their opening drives. Central Catholic Vikings, a 2-yard run by Justin Kerpakis, and the Indians, 51-yard pass, Gilmer to Victor Strader. Imagine that. To knot things on the Dazakia kick.
And remember, it is Friday the 13th. Strange things indeed.
Triskaidekaphobia. I'm afraid to say that.
God bless you.
Victor Strader had some running room, but he ran into his own man, Kevin McCoy, at the 25. Strader looked like he would have had a lot more, but sidesteps into McCoy.
The second time that a Penn Hills runner has had a chance to cut it inside and continue straight on. You cut to the outside, you're more likely to get a big play, but you can also get some nice yardage. And it was Thompson earlier. This time Strader ran into Kevin McCoy and only picked up the yard.
Thompson in, Strader out. 3rd and 5 now for the Penn Hills Indians. 25 seconds ago, running clock, first quarter. Lenny Gilmer on the option. He fumbles the football, and Central Catholic recovers at the 17. Gilmer was hit on the option. The ball came loose. And Johnny on the spot, Mike Rasciuto, falls on it at the 17. And it appears the Indians are doing more to keep Central in the game than Central is. First turnover of the game, and not a good place for it to happen. If you're a Penn Hills Indian, great place if you're a Viking. We'll see what the Vikings do inside the 20. Team gives it to Kerpakis, who gets inside the 15 to the 14. Got a pickup of about 3. As the first quarter draws to an end. 1 quarter down, 3 to go. Maybe more. Penn Hills 7, Central Catholic 7. You're watching Penn Hills Indians football 95.
Under the beautiful skyline of the city of Pittsburgh, second quarter action about to get underway. The Central Catholic Vikings and the Penn Hills Indians tied at 7. Arthur J. Rooney Athletic Field on the bluff at Duquesne University. On the AstroTurf, the Central Catholic Vikings trying to capitalize on a Penn Hills Indian fumble deep in Penn Hills territory. They're faced with a second down now. Justin Kerpakis stopped with a short gain on first down. The Indian defense trying to keep this game close, perhaps only letting Central Catholic settle for a field goal, but that is yet to be decided as Justin Deem comes up under center. Deem with a delayed handoff to Godfrey, who cuts around the left side. Godfrey 10, getting close to the 10-yard line, stopped at the 13. Victor Strader on the tackle, along with Jeremy George. The Penn Hills Indian defense stifling the running attack of the Central Catholic Vikings at this time. Now 3rd down for Central. Early second quarter, the Indians and Vikings tied at 7. Big Quad A showdown, both teams undefeated, 6-0. Tonight's winner with a good shot at winning the conference. The loser needs to win a few more to get into the playoffs. As Deem rolls to the right, fakes the handoff to Godfrey. He's rolling in. He's going to get pulled under pressure by Jeremy George in the backfield. And the ball falls incomplete. It looked like it was intended for number 21, Bob Slowakowski. Justin Kerpakis also in the territory. And now the Central Catholic Vikings will bring on the field goal unit. And what a big defensive stand that was for the Penn Hills Indians, who stopped the Central Catholic Vikings inside the 20 following the Lenny Gilmer fumble. And if the Penn Hills Indians walk away with just going down by 3 points, what a big lift that will be. Ball will be spotted at the 20. It'll be a 30-yard field goal. Dave Singh on the attempt. Ball down to kick up. Kick is high and just gets over the crossbar. Field goal good. The Central Catholic Vikings move up by a score of 10-7 over the Penn Hills Indians here in the second quarter. Now we'll see what the Penn Hills Indians can do with the football, fumbling on their last possession and allowing the Central Catholic Vikings to pull ahead by 3. Penn Hills Indians have been down before this season. They were down at halftime, in fact, to the Plum Mustangs earlier this season. Fell behind early to the North Hills Indians by a score of 7-0 and then went on to score 23 unanswered points. Penn Hill Indian kicking unit onto the field to receive. Downfield deep. Dwayne Thompson, Victor Strader, Jeremy George, Hoggy Livingston. Justin Kerpakis doing the kicking duties for the Central Catholic Vikings. The big running back, inside linebacker, already committed to Penn State University, where he will be up in Happy Valley next fall. Trading the blue and gold for the blue and white will be Justin Kerpakis. And Kerpakis with a low kick. Ball will be taken at the 15 by Damian Germany. Germany with some nice running room up the middle. And Germany with a nice return. The Indians take over in great field position. Ball will be spotted at their own 35-yard line. Now we'll see how the Indians respond to the Central Catholic Viking field goal. The Indians down by 3. Central Catholic 10. Penn Hills Indians 7. Lenny Gilmer still in at quarterback. Indians go to the split backfield. First man through is Dwayne Thompson. Thompson crosses the 40, 45, 50. Dwayne Thompson, one man to beat his Ryan Godfrey, but Godfrey's speed pulls him down inside Central Catholic territory. Nice running by the little big man, Dwayne Thompson. And just like that, the Indians are driving again. Dwayne Thompson able to get through the original line of scrimmage, broke a couple tackles, but only the speed of Godfrey pulled Thompson down in the secondary, or else it was 6 points. So now first down for the Indians. Ball at the 33-yard line of Central Catholic. Again, the Indians go to the split backs. Ronnie Graham split to the near side. Strader and Thompson. First man through. Second man through is Dwayne Thompson. He'll get to the 30. Nice fake to Victor Strader on the first man through to draw Kerpakis in. But Dwayne Thompson able to pick up 3. Brings the ball down to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 7 for the Indians. See Lenny Gilmer coming in after picking up the play from the sideline. Ronnie Graham will split to the left. B.J. DiNatale and Jeremy George at the ends. Again, a split backfield for the Indians. Pitch this time to Strader on the left side. Strader cuts to the 30, comes across to the 25. Strader cuts back to the inside, makes a nice move to get out of bounds at the 20-yard, around the 20-yard line. Nifty running by Victor Strader. And the Penn Hills Indian running game seems to have the motor going as the Indians pick up another first down. This time inside the 20 at the 19. 10-7 Central Catholic leads here in the second quarter. The Penn Hills Indians with the first possession after going down by 3 points. Responding quickly to the Central Catholic Viking opening touchdown. Victor Strader, 51-yard touchdown reception. And it's Victor Strader again up the middle, picks up about 5 down to the 14. And the Indians are just blowing Central Catholic off the ball in this drive at the moment. Drive started at their own 35-yard line. Indians now at the 14, all on the ground. Strader and Thompson go to the eye. Graham splits right. And it's Dwayne Thompson fighting for a couple of tough yards gained up the middle. Nice defensive play by Brian Adams, kid out of Oakmont, making the tackle for the Central Catholic Vikings. And the Indians now faced with a third down inside Central Catholic territory. Ball will be marked at the 13-yard line.
Quick look in pass intended for Jeremy George. Batted down by Karpakis at the 10. Nice play by Karpakis, or else Jeremy George had himself 6 points. So we'll see what the Indians do now. Indians call timeout. Going forward on 4th down. Deep in Central Catholic territory at the 14. The Indians pass up the Dave Zakia field goal try. It's been about a 30-yarder. And the Indians will go for it on 4th down. Split backfield for the Indians. Pitch to Strader around the left side. Strader tries to fall forward. He'll fall short of the 1st down. And the Central Catholic Vikings take over at the 13. Big defensive stand for the Central Catholic Vikings, not allowing the Indians to get on the board. And what a disappointment it has to be for the Indians. They drive all the way to the 13-yard line, only to fall short. And they still trail the Central Catholic Vikings by 3. Central Catholic 10, Penn Hills 7 here in the 2nd quarter. See what the Central Catholic Vikings do. They're up by 3. See if they continue to run the football, or if Justin Deem will put it in the air. Deem pitches to the near side to Godfrey, who looks for some running room. Godfrey does a nice job to get across the 15 out to about the 17-yard line. Wasn't much running room there. That was all made by Brian Godfrey, who got through the Indians line, picks up a couple. Called a 2nd down and 6 now for the Central Catholic Vikings. Karpakis and Godfrey, backs. See Dave Havern, the receiver, coming in from the sidelines. Of course, a penalty being marked off against the Central Catholic Vikings. Be holding a half the distance to the goal penalty. Will mark the ball at the 6-yard line, about the 5.5. Break there for the Indians, moving the Central Catholic Vikings even further back in the shades of their own end zone. The Vikings go with the eye. Karpakis up, Godfrey deep. Justin Deem rolls out of the pocket. He's throwing deep. He's looking for Homan. Homan pushes off the defensive back, and he's able to come up with the ball. No flags. Homan pushed off Dwayne Thompson at the 35 and was able to pull in the pass at the 37. And the Indians sideline is irate. Homan clearly pushing off Dwayne Thompson. No penalties called on that one, an offensive interference. You have to go with the officials dish out to you, and the Indians will just have to suck it up here. As it's a 1st down, the Vikings move from the 5 to the 37, 32-yard pickup. Deem to Homan. 1st down now for the Vikings, who seem to have something going here. Late 2nd quarter. It's Godfrey again, looking to get around the left side. Breaks the tackle in the backfield, but he'll get out to about the 38-yard line. Damon Gibson missed in the backfield, but Donnie Chichilla comes up on the open field tackle at about the 39-yard line. A lot of running by Godfrey, but only picks up 2. Now 2nd and 8 for the Central Catholic Vikings. The Penn Hills Indian defense looking to stand up big here. They certainly don't want to give up any more points. A field goal would put them down by 6, touchdown by as many as 11. Justin Deem rolls out of the pocket, but flags fly in the backfield and the ball overthrown. Pass looked like intended for Karpakis. We'll see what the flags fly. It came from the referee. Usually about where you see a holding call, but came early. Motion against Central Catholic Vikings. The Indians turn it down, bringing up a 3rd and long. Let's see what the Vikings can do from here. 3rd, and we'll call it 8 from the 39-yard line of the Central Catholic Vikings in the I formation. Justin Deem looking to throw the football under pressure. The pass overthrown. And Justin Deem's rolling on the turf. Nice pressure by the Penn Hills Indians defense to hurry the Dean pass. And now Dean being attended to. Justin Dean, the quarterback, coming off the sidelines. Getting some attention from the Central Catholic training staff. Now the Vikings will punt. Interesting here, Dean ordinarily is their punter. Coming in for the punting duties. Looks like JT Thomas. Nice snap, high kick but short. Bounces at the 30 and goes out of bounds at the 35. The Indians again will take over at their own 35-yard line after stalling that Central Catholic drive. Now the Indians get the ball back, trailing by 3 here in the second quarter. Penn Hills 7 to Central Catholic's 10. Indian running attack doing a good job on the last drive, but they fell short on a 4th and 4 at their own 14-yard line. So now Hoggy Livingston up. Dwayne Thompson deep, and it is Thompson. Thompson gets to the outside 40. And a nice play to bring him down before he got too far was Jason Homan. But Thompson able to get out to the 41-yard line, pick up a 6, 2nd down and 4 now for the Penn Hills Indians. If not for Jason Homan, Dwayne Thompson could still be running. Once he gets into that secondary, he is a dangerous back. I formation now for the Indians. Split to the near side is Ronnie Graham. Well, they go to him. No, it's the inside handoff to Victor Strader. Strader sits in the backfield, does a nice job to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe picking up about half a yard. Tough half yard for Strader. Now 3rd down for the Indians. Indians faced with a 3rd and 4, just shy of their own 42-yard line. See what they come up with here on a big 3rd down play, trailing the Vikings by 3. Second quarter. Big Quad East matchup, both teams undefeated. This for first place in the conference. Lenny Gilmer fumbles a snap, able to pick up about 2 yards. Does a nice job for that. But now 4th down for the Penn Hills Indians. Gilmer fumbled the snap from Jared Smith. Able to pick it up. Good job to do that, but fell forward for about 2 yards. But now the Penn Hills Indians will have to punt as Zakia comes in for the punting duties. Dave Zakia coming on to punt. Nice pressure by the Vikings and a nice kick by Zakia. As Homan pushes everyone away, gets a bit of a Penn Hills bounce inside the 20-yard line. Now it starts to roll backwards for Central. And the Vikings will take over at the 19. 4.5 to go. Clock's running. It should be stopped. Should it not, Bob?
5 seconds went off the clock. Should have been stopped. It's still running again.
No, it's stopped now.
And 4 more seconds went on.
So the Vikings will take over at their own 19. 4.5 to go in the first half. And the Vikes up by 3. The only time the Indians trailed at halftime so far this season was
Plum.
very good.
14-7.
It's trivia night at Arthur J. Rooney Athletic Field. And Kerpakis busts across the right side and drags everyone with him. Corey Connors finally brings him down. The Piglet. And there's a man down on the field. Another Central Catholic Viking down.
Mike Rasciuto, it looked like he was grabbing at his knee.
And he is grabbing his left knee. See Jim Type in attendance tonight. In the red jacket on the far side of the field at the 15-yard line. Of course, the Penn Hills Indians dedicated this season to the memory of his son, Jim, who passed away over the summer. Jim, a former player of the Penn Hills Indians, also on the coaching staff last season. And the Indians doing well for Jimmy. 6-0 so far in the season, but they trail here in the first half 10-7 to the also undefeated Central Catholic Vikings. The Indians come into tonight's game ranked second in the WPIAL, second in the state. Central Catholic Vikings ranked fourth in the WPIAL. Obviously a chance tonight for the Vikings to move up with a victory. The Indians also have the opportunity tonight as the North Allegheny Tigers take on the Seneca Valley Raiders in a big matchup in the Quad North.
Seneca Valley, a very scrappy team. Their only loss came at the hands of Penn Hills in week 2.
14-0 the Indians over
Week
the
3,
Raiders.
excuse me.
It was week 3. Week 2 was
North Hills.
North Hills, which was the first time the Indians trailed this season, was against North Hills. Karpakis and Godfrey in the I formation. Justin Dean back in at quarterback. Ronnie Graham gets in under pressure. Here's Godfrey with the carry. Let's see where they spot it. Excuse me, Karpakis with the carry. It's hard to confuse the two, but somehow I did.
You saw the 5, you missed the 2, and we got the 0 as in no gain. Although Karpakis was stopped he lost about a half a yard and actually was hit in the backfield, so it's just a little over a yard to go for a first down for Central.
Kid is a moose. Highly touted as a linebacker, but one heck of a running back as well. An inside handoff goes to Jason Homan, will pick up the first down. Corey Connors in pursuit. But Homan finally brought down by Damian Germany, but not after the damage has been done, and the Vikings pick up the first down at the 33. A play right out of the Indians playbook.
Nice play indeed, well disguised and well blocked, and work they needed one. They picked up 5. Homan's second carry in the game results in first down number 7 for Central.
In the shadows of the city of Pittsburgh skyline, on the bluff at Duquesne University, Arthur J. Rooney Athletic Field. One of the home sites for the Central Catholic Vikings. They also play home games at CMU. Deem rolling out to the near side, Graham in pursuit. Graham hits him with a pass completed at the 45-yard line to Bob Slowakowski, the 6'5", 215 junior from St. Raphael's Parish. First down now, again. Back-to-back plays, back-to-back first downs for Central Catholic. 2:38 to go second quarter, first half.
7 of 12 now, Justin Deem in the first half.
Deem just picking away at the Penn Hills Indians secondary on the short pass. This time it's Godfrey looking to get to the right. The Indians all in pursuit. And Godfrey breaks away from the pack, and he's close to another first down. How did Godfrey get away from 8 Indians?
Well, as much as you get pursuit and clog up the lanes, you got to grab the guy and tackle them. They didn't do it. Godfrey with some nice moves, some good speed. He's very close. Just to be sure, we're going to give him a pickup of 9. It's actually 9.5, but great individual effort.
We knew this game was going to be a battle coming in tonight, and it has lived up to its billing. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Vikings up by 7, and they're threatening for more. Or they're up by 3, excuse me. Dean looking to throw again. He's looking for Slowakowski, who breaks away to 15. And Charles Britt almost comes up with the interception, but he drops it at the 10. Nice coverage by Charles Britt, and the Indians put him into the defensive secondary because of his height.
And excellent positioning by Britt, and got in the way, got in front of Slowakowski, and it was the pump and go for Central, and Slowakowski did get behind him, but great play by Charles Britt to knock it down. But 3rd and short, and that's what you do when you get a 2nd and short. You go for the end zone, and Central did it, comes up incomplete, but they're left with a half a yard to get a first down.
Absolutely need a half yard to go, and with a moose like Justin Karpakis, it's hard not to pick it up, and there's Karpakis, first man through, and he doesn't get it. We'll see where they mark it, and he gets a very generous spot. It appears he loses yardage, but the officials mark it out at the 45-yard line, and that'll do the first down. Officials will measure it, but I think the point is moot. Penn Hills coaching staff obviously upset, and I think they have a gripe.
Short.
They just short. So now it'll be 4th down. I think Fischetti will go for it with 1:28 to go in the first half. Now, what do? I think it's Karpakis again.
I would say that would be a no-brainer if I were coaching, but of course we've been accused of having no brains from time to time. So,
of course, don't be surprised. Also,
you thought he would get it last time, and he gained about 6 inches. But if he would get 6 more inches, that would be a first down.
But if they don't make it, the Indians take over near midfield. But also watch for perhaps the Central Catholic calls timeout.
You're saying Cole.
A lot of the kids on the Central Catholic team are...
Gives us a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it does. A lot of kids from Penn Hills on the Central Catholic team. And it is Karpakis, and it looks like Karpakis has stopped. We'll see where they spot it. We'll see on the mark. He needs to cross the 45. The officials are...
Well, the official on the near side has not marked it. The official on the far side has. And he's short.
Hey, Bob, he might be just short.
That's the ball is in the exact
He
same
needs to get about 2 inches over the 45 from this angle. He looks like he just got across the 45.
That's the ball's in the exact same position. It moved maybe 2 inches.
I think the Indians may get the football. And that they do. 2 straight plays. Justin Karpakis fails to pick up about 8 inches. And the Indians take over with 1:15 to go in the first half at their own 45-yard line, and we'll see what the Indians do from here. Clock will begin to run as soon as they set the sticks.
2 timeouts. We'll see if they can pick up a big gain or maybe use one of those timeouts and get set, at least try to get into field goal position. Great defensive stand. It's rare that you see a moose like Karpakis stop twice like that.
The Indians get to the line of scrimmage as the clock begins to roll. 1:10 to go first half. And Lenny Gilmer on the misdirection to Victor Strader over the left side. It's a foot race now for Strader. Strader, one man to beat at the 10. And Strader goes out of bounds to stop the clock inside the 10-yard line at the 9. Victor Strader picks up 46 yards and gets out of bounds to stop the clock, and the Indians call timeout. And the Indians defense comes up big, and just like that, the offense comes up with the big play.
I'm sure they'd be very, very happy to, even if they have to settle for a field goal and a tie game at the halftime, because Central was driving, got into Penn Hills territory, and very rare with a back like Karpakis, you're going to get stopped on 3rd and 4th in less than a yard.
No one in the backfield for the Indians. Gilmer rolls to the right, throws to Ronnie Graham inside the 5, and the pass too low. Puts the pass up about 3 feet, and it's a touchdown.
And Graham is open. Cutting underneath, he's lined out there with Jeremy George. George cuts it one way, Graham cuts it inside. The defense goes with the first man through. Graham was open at about the 3, but you said the pass was just a little too low.
They need the old tackle eligible. Indians go back to the I formation. Strader up, Thompson back. DiNatale split left. Graham and George to the right. And Gilmer on the draw play to Dwayne Thompson. 5, 4, 3, 2. Touchdown, Penn Hills! The little man, 8 yards, 6 points. The Indians on top, for the first time in the game, with 50 seconds to go in the first half. Dwayne Thompson on the draw picks up the Penn Hills Indian touchdown. They now lead 13-10 with 50 seconds to go first half. And there's the case of the defense coming up with a big play to get the ball back into the hands of the offense. Now Dave Zakia on to make the advantage for Jeremy George on the snap. Strader hold, kick up. Looks like it's partially blocked, but it goes wide to the left. So the Indians' lead remains 3. 13-10, Penn Hills over Central Catholic, 50 seconds to go first half. And Bob, this is one heck of a football game.
Indeed it is. Everything you expected in a big turnaround. You didn't expect Penn Hills to get maybe any points the way Central was driving, but the defense turns it into offense. A big run by Victor Strader and the 8-yard touchdown run number 11 the touchdown number for TDDT on the year. And Penn Hills forges ahead 13-10. 50 seconds left in the half. Central does have their one timeout remaining. But interesting first half. Some offenses doing a lot of good things on both sides of the football.
I think it has to be a big lift for the Penn Hills Indians also to have Bill Freilich in the locker room with them before the game and on the field talking to them.
I think we could get him a uniform and sneak him in there.
I'm sure Neil Gordon would like it. I don't know if we can get a shot of him, but he's standing at the Penn Hills 45-yard line. Light jeans, mint-colored shirts, and a brown blazer. See him standing over there, Bill Freilich. Number 79, retired by both Penn Hills and Central Catholic. As you can see him, he looms above all these kids on the field. I like to see him stand up next to Damon Gibson and Mike White. Probably dwarf them as well.
It's just a long line of generations of great linemen at Penn Hills.
Squib kick for the Indians. It was touched in bounds. It goes out of bounds at the 28.
They're saying that he touched it, and they're saying he did not touch it.
Clearly it was touched by Central Catholic, but flags fly.
64 was Brian Nucida. And it looked like he did touch the ball before it went out of bounds, but
We'll see what the officials say if they
it'll be the
confer.
procedure call.
It's interesting how we can sort of see it from here, and the officials, not 5 yards from it, don't. So they'll spot it at the 35. The penalty turns out to about a 6-yard pickup for Central Catholic. I don't know. Go figure, Bob.
Never try to figure two things out in this game, Bill. Officials or Gardner points. That way you'll keep your hair and you'll stay sane.
Deem on the draw to Godfrey. Godfrey gets some running room around the right side. Nice pursuit by the Indians, but Godfrey picks up the first down in Penn Hills territory, and this is no time for the Indians to go into a prevent defense. 42 seconds to go. Central with maybe one timeout, if that. Clock running. When they set the sticks, clock is running. 39, 38 seconds to go. Krapakis and Godfrey again in the I formation. Havern split to the near side, and again it's Godfrey. He fumbles the football. Fumbles the football, and it's picked up by the Indians. It looks like, anyway.
It's Garrett Livingston.
Hoggy Livingston.
24
With
seconds.
24 seconds to go, the Indians do come up with it. And why not try have 4 plays, throw the ball into the end zone? What the heck? Jeremy George tried to pick it up, but it looked like he was hit by his own man and fumbled again. But Hoggy Livingston was hogging on the spot. Falls on it at the 44-yard line. Clock running. It looks like the Indians will throw the football. Quick look in, and is that Jeremy George?
Take time out.
Excuse me, not Jeremy George, it's Dwayne Thompson.
At the 30, so they pick up 13.
8 seconds to go, first half. The Indians tried to call timeout starting with 12, and the officials finally don't blow it till about 8 seconds to go. And this staff obviously on the ball tonight.
Now you don't have any timeout, so you need to get out of bounds or get in the end zone.
Of course, the clock does stop on the first down.
Briefly, you'd have to hustle and have that Chinese fire drill. You may not have enough time to get up and spike the football. You may want to call a safe play. If you get 13 and get out of bounds, you have about 2 seconds left to at least attempt a field goal before the half.
Of course, if you get any time left, it would be about a 47-yard field goal from this point. Seems the key to make them in practice. I don't know if the Indians will try it from this point. So I think they got to go into the end zone. And if not, what the heck, gives the key a try? Of course, anything can happen. And the official looks like he's asking the truckers to blow the horn. Twins right, Twins left. Trips right, excuse me. Gilmer looking down at the end zone, and the ball's picked off by the Vikings at the 5. The ball's fumbled out of bounds, with Central keep possession, but the clock runs out. That was Jason Lohman who picks it off. And the Indians and Vikings begin to head to their respective locker rooms. So one half a play in the books. It's Penn Hills 13, Central 10. Don't go away. 24 minutes, maybe more, still to come.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Penn Hills School District is proud to present the 1995-96 Penn Hills High School Marching Band. Under the field direction of drum majors Ruth Frost and Beth Pachowski, the band will take you on a trip to that great city of New York to visit Broadway. The band's opening selection is the familiar New York, New York theme. On Broadway follows next, featuring the band's percussion section, and Guys and Dolls provides the ever-exciting selection, Luck Be a Lady, featuring the band's rhythmette, majorettes, and color guard. Trumpet soloists for the evening include Rita DeSalvo and Jessica Reynolds. And now, please welcome to the field the Penn Hills High School Marching Band.
under the magnificent skyline of the city of Pittsburgh on the bluff at Duquesne University. Arthur J. Rooney Athletic Field, one of the homes of the Central Catholic Vikings. The Penn Hills Indians 13 to Central Catholic Vikings 10 as second half action about to get underway. And Bob, this game billed as a barn burner and has lived up to that reputation.
Definitely an offensive first half between the teams. 15 first downs, 347 total yards, 23 points in the first half. Penn Hills on top of the 13-10 lead, courtesy of a Dwayne Thompson 8-yard touchdown run right before the half. And Penn Hills doing a great job rushing the football, 132 yards on 18 carries. They added 64 passing yards. Central's running game pretty much shut down, 56 yards on 20 carries, but they did get 95 yards through the air. And an interesting first half, maybe a lot more offense than people thought. But still, these two teams evenly matched, and it showed. It was a pretty good and pretty entertaining first half.
The Penn Hills Indians have been able to move the ball somewhat on the air and on the ground, but surprisingly in the air. 51-yard touchdown pass, Gilmer to Victor Strader. But also the Central Catholic Vikings able to take advantage of some opportunities the Penn Hills Indians have given them, both in terms of penalties and turnovers.
Indeed, they did, and we've saw a few penalties and a couple turnovers, and Penn Hills getting a turnover right before the half, and they couldn't turn it into any points. Matter of fact, they turned it back over in the last play of the first half. But it was interesting the way the first half played, and who would have thunk that Central Catholic would have less than a yard and 2 downs, and Justin Kerpakis did not make it. Then in turn, Penn Hills turned around 3 plays later, scored the go-ahead touchdown.
So the Indians able to rise above that. They took the ball back off the Central Catholic Vikings following the stuff of Kerpakis twice, and able to put the go-ahead touchdown on the board. And the Indians in the second half, also, they will receive the kickoff.
And it'll be interesting. Offensively, they did a lot of good things. Had a couple drives stopped, but they ran the ball well, as illustrated with the stats. And a good drive here, and it will be interesting to see how Penn Hills and Central would react. Central took the opening kickoff, and with the aid of a penalty, did score the opening touchdown.
In case you missed the first half, the officials had a lot to say about the goings-on in the first half. But the Penn Hills Indians, if they were able to march the ball downfield and put the ball into the end zone and move up on the Central Catholic Vikings again, some folks might think that might be a large enough lead, but I don't think there really is a lead large enough against the Central Catholic Vikings.
The only lead large enough is the one at the end of the game.
Very good. Kerpakis on the short, low kickoff, down on the knee at the 32-yard line. Is Craig Gilmer, who caught the ball while on his knee, and that means he's automatically down. So the Indians have been starting after the Central Catholic kickoffs about the 35-yard line, this time at the 33, and that's where they will take over. And if he was down immediately, Bob, did that play take off 3 seconds?
No argument for me. I agree. Should have started at 12, but nonetheless, Penn Hills, not bad field position.
Victor Strader around the left side, spins over the 35 out to the 36. Caught a pickup of about 2.5 yards. And the Indians make no bones about it. They keep the ball. They like to keep the ball on the ground.
Indeed, they do. And surprisingly, in the first half, we didn't talk about a 51-yard touchdown pass from Lenny Gilmer, the first of the team, to Victor Strader, and a nice play down the far sideline.
Oh, yeah, caught the Central Catholic Vikings by surprise as well. Gilmer out of the backfield, just streaking down the sideline. Pitch back to Thompson. Thompson looking to get outside, cuts back to the inside. Thompson gets across the 45 out to the 47. First down for the Indians, close to midfield. And the Indians, to no one's surprise, running the football.
And the little big man, as we are wont to call him, is a strong runner. 11 yards will put his total up to 66. Victor Strader at 71, so they are sharing the task equally. And an effective running game so far this evening for Penn Hills.
Victor Strader over 100 yards and all-purpose yardage. That would be both rushing and receiving. Lenny Gilmer on the play action, looking downfield for Ronnie Graham. He's pushed off. No flag called there. Nice coverage by Godfrey and also number 33, Ray Riley.
And Gilmore's pass, a little bit too much air on it, hung up there, and Graham did get behind, and both two defenders, it was 1-on-2, but Godfrey and Graham did get tangled up, but good coverage, and the pass goes incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Indians, close to midfield.
Dwayne Thompson out, Victor Strader back in along with Damian Germany. So Hagi and Victor in the backfield in the I formation. Damian Germany split wide to the near side with Godfrey. Man-on-man coverage. So the Indians will put it back on the ground, and they do to Victor Strader. Strader picks up maybe one. Nice stop on the play is Kirpakis. So we'll call Kirpakis stopping Strader after pickup of 2. I call it maybe a yard. Out to the, we'll call it 2. Out to the 49-yard line, just before midfield. Approaching 10 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. The Indians up by 3 over the Central Catholic Vikings. Both teams undefeated, 6-0 on the season. And it's Lenny Gilmer on the quarterback keeper. And Gilmer gets the ball out to the 45-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down. And Gilmer fortunate that the ball was not stripped. Carried it out there like the proverbial loaf of bread.
Indeed, was up there rolling around his chest and up in the shoulder pad. Came up about 2.5 yards short, and Penn Hills will bring on Dave Zakia. It's a punt, but interesting to see because a good punt, Zakia could pin Central Catholic back. Maybe too early to go for a fake, but it would be surprising.
9 men, 8 men on the line of scrimmage for the Central Catholic Vikings. Zakia puts a little teeter up into the air, bounces at the 30, gets a Central Catholic bounce.
Okay, good.
Going to be down at the 32-yard line. Not one of Zakia's better kicks. Ball put down by Jared Smith at the 32.
So 13-yard net, that's not the kind of punch you wanted.
I think Zakia perhaps trying to put a little bit of a pooch on it and just a little over-pooched it. So now we'll see what the Central Catholic Vikings do with their first possession of the second half. Approaching 9 minutes to go, they trail by 3. Kirpakis, the up back, Godfrey deep in the I formation, and it's Godfrey. Godfrey breaks the tackle. Damon Gibson at the line of scrimmage. And Godfrey able to pick up close to 9 after he was brought down by Victor Strader in the secondary. To give credit to Godfrey, he broke the grasp of Damon Gibson at the line of scrimmage.
That was the key to that play as everyone else cleared out, and Godfrey with a nice pickup of 9. He has 38 yards. Penn Hills did a nice job of containing basically him and Kirpakis, holding the 2 of them to a total of only 48 yards. Godfrey is now over 800 yards on the season.
2nd and 1. Last time they had this, they went deep. And he fumbles the snap. And the ball's still on the turf. And it looks like Dean come up with it. Dean fumbled it. The Indians didn't see it, and Dean was able to fall on it. So now it'll be 3rd and 5. They lose 4 on the play. Called a loss of 5. Called close to 6 yards to go.
That ball was there for the taking, too. It's just that Penn Hills concentrated on making the tackle. They couldn't quite get it. And luckily for Dean, it didn't roll anywhere. It just laid there. He fell on it for the loss of 5.
It's like the old fumble-rooski. Ball just sat there on the turf. So now I formation again. Here come the Indians on the blitz. Deem rolls to his right, looks downfield, and the ball in and out of the hands of Jason Homan. Ball thrown a little bit high by Deem. He's fortunate to get the ball again.
And this time
away.
Thompson learned his lesson. It was high on a play in the first half in the near sideline in front of us. He got called for interference on the same type of pass. Pass to Homan was high. This time, pass was high. Thompson stayed away. Pass fell incomplete.
Of course, look who also he was standing right there with Thompson. Was the Penn Hills coaches. And I'm sure they were saying, leave it, leave it, leave it.
That's correct. That's right.
Goes Deem's punt. Taken by Strader at the 35, and he's sucked under by the Central Catholic team photo.
Number 21, Victor Strader, run back for Penn Hills.
What a turn of a yard. So the Indians take over again, up by 3 with 7.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Bill Navari along with Bob Orkwis on the AstroTurf at Arthur J. Rooney Athletic Field at Duquesne University on the bluff, overlooking the Mon River and the beautiful new Allegheny County Jail. County taxpayers must be proud at that architectural feat. Dwayne Thompson sucked under at the line of scrimmage. Called no gain. And the Indians starting to look like mix up the little misdirections in there, but still running the ball up the middle. The Central Catholic defense tending to be a bit over-pursuant at times. Perhaps subject to the misdirections. So Ronnie Graham splits to the near side. Again, Godfrey on the coverage. And it's Lenny Gilmer on the quarterback keeper, and he might get 3. Might have been a busted play, but Gilmer with the keeper picks up 3. It'll be 3rd and long now for the Indians.
Getting almost a gain of 4, and we couldn't tell, man. It looked to me like Gilmer just tucked it up for a straight run to the outside, a quarterback keeper, and picked up 4. We know he has great athletic ability and good running ability. We saw a nice run in the first half of 16 for Lenny Gilmer.
So 3rd, and we'll call it a long 6 for the Indians. Hands Dina Talley with Victor Strader split to the right. And it's Dwayne Thompson up the gut. Thompson gets the Penn Hills Indian first down, and he crosses midfield to the 49-yard line. And a big 3rd down play by the Indians.
First and 10, Penn Hills.
Second pickup of 11 in the second half for Dwayne Thompson, second first down, and Penn Hills again hitching the ball in the Central Catholic territory, and a nice run by Dwayne Thompson. He has great leg drive for the little man, and he does a great job.
Germany split near, hands to the right, or left, excuse me. But busting again up the middle is Thompson. Thompson will give him a pickup of about 3.5, maybe 4 yards. So we'll call it 2nd and a long 6. 5:28 to go. 3rd quarter. Penn Hills 13, Central Catholic 10. Battle of the unbeatens in the Quad East. The Central fans getting into it. Power I formation, Ronnie Graham in. Excuse me, that's Damon Gibson in the backfield. The ball flies into the air, and it looks like the Indians may have gotten the ball back, but that was Damon Gibson in the backfield. I love the fridge.
Strader hurt his arm on the play.
And the Indians come up with it.
Corey Connors, Johnny on the spot, gets
The Piglet roots into the pile. Comes out with the ham hock.
You're going to watch Victor Strader. Looks like he took a helmet right on the forearm. Now he's back in the game.
Corey Connors, who recovered the fumble, goes out along with Garrett Livingston. There was the fridge play. And there goes Victor Strader over the left side. He gets the first down. Down to the 36-yard line goes Strader. Kind of a mark it at the 38. But Strader, after getting popped on the previous play, picks up the first down.
And a nice strong drive just to play it off tackle and good running by Victor Strader. We're going to give him a gain of 7 and the 3rd first down, and Penn Hills putting together a nice drive on their second possession of the second half.
And Thompson with some nice running row. Thompson down to the 16-yard line. And there might be the argument for tear-away jerseys.
And what a move. Dwayne Thompson got into the backfield, put a little shake and bake move, and luckily for Central Catholic, the defensive back got just the corner of his jersey and held on to it, but another first down, pickup of 21.
1st and 10 for the Indians at the 16. 4:10 to go. 3rd quarter, the Indians up by 3, threatening for more. And again, it's the little man cutting across the left side. Home in the beat, gets around him, gets close to a first down. And Thompson steps out of bounds about the 4-yard line. And he knew it too. So it'll be 1st and goal now for the Indians, and there goes the running of the little big man. If you can't stop the Penn Hills Indians on the ground, you're in for a long evening.
14 carries, 113 yards for the little big man, including the 8-yard touchdown. First and goal from Penn Hills. We'll call it the 3.
Graham and Gibson, the upbacks, and it's Victor Strader getting close to the goal line. We'll mark it at the 2. Graham and Gibson went up the gut, and Victor Strader tried to bounce to the outside. But interesting how they moved Damon Gibson into the backfield, and don't be surprised if he gets the ball.
Well, we've seen some great athleticism by a man that big, and
Still looking for his first touchdown in 2
wouldn't be
years.
surprised.
And it's Victor Strader, touchdown Penn Hills. Victor Strader gets in, 2-yard touchdown run. The Penn Hills Indians now go up by 9 with 3:49 to go in the third quarter, and the Indians will go for 2, and who can blame them? No, Dave Zakia comes in to kick the extra point. So the Indians are up by 9 now, look to go up by 10. Impressive drive by the Penn Hills Indians, called 68 yards. Bob will give us all the details in a moment. 68 yards, Bob?
63 yards, 10 plays, 3 minutes, 42 seconds.
And the Indians will go for 2. Strader throws into the end zone. Ball falls incomplete. Intended for either Graham or Larringston. So they called the fire.
Well, Victor Strader's 2-yard run caps that off, and either way you look at it, you go for 2. If Central scores a touchdown and goes for 2, Penn Hill still would be having a 1-point lead, so Central needs 2 scores to eventually forge ahead. But a nice drive by Penn Hills. We now have Dwayne Thompson over 100 yards and Victor Strader. They're doing the job on the ground. They have the 19-10 lead.
And Victor Strader on the night thus far.
Since Thompson has
over 100.
Thompson has 114. Strader has 13 carries, 83 yards.
And also the 51-yard
pass reception.
pass
So there's
reception.
close to 200 yards rushing by your 2 big men. Not big physically, but big of heart, strong of leg, and excellent runners.
That they are. Dave Zakia definitely will kick the football this time.
And definitely strong of leg.
And high and short, taken at the 15. And stood up at about the 25-yard line is Ray Riley. Central Catholic will take over with 3:43 to go, third quarter, from their own 27-yard line, and they trail by 9. What a ball game. A lot of folks in attendance tonight. Standing room only crowd. And they are 6 or 7 deep. Obviously with a game like this, the facilities are lacking at best. Still a beautiful field. Dean looks right, throws right. Is that Holman? It is Holman. And Holman won't go down. So Holman picks up the first down for the Vikings, crosses the 40 out to the 41. And the Central Catholic Vikings are never say die.
Speaking of 100 yards, Justin Deem over 100 yards. He is 8 of 15 for 109 yards passing.
As Bob Orkwis checks his
And it's a blue ticket.
50-50, yes it is. Good news for Bob. Godfrey. Stiff arms Chichilla. Godfrey with some running room. Knocked out of bounds by Chair Britt in Penn Hills territory at the 39-yard line. And they'll mark it up just inside the 40. Godfrey broke the tackle of Donnie Chichilla to get to the outside. A nice running room by Godfrey. So the Vikings are answering just like that. So see, we have seen the Indians' defense bend, but not break. We shall see if we shall see that again. That makes sense. Flags fly. will march off 5 against the Vikings. Now 1st and 15.
Motion Mike Pachuto on that left end. You're a little anxious, so we'll move it back to about the 45.
Good to see that he's back in the game. Hurt his knee earlier. Don Prosciutto, also from my parish of St. Bartholomew. This is Jason Homan. There's Tony Fratangelo as well, among others. So I'm sure they'll probably all be trying to catch this broadcast sometime during the week. Godfrey in motion to the near side, and it's Karpakis up the middle, and the Moose gets across the 40 back to the original line of scrimmage, so the penalty just basically loses a down. So now 2nd, and we'll call it 10, and it looks like Karpakis is on the turf.
Second time tonight, he looks like he's shaking up.
And if you're Joe Paterno, you're not liking that.
And the way he's walking, I think it is a cramp, and that ball has a lot to do with this. It's October, and we have a summer night here in October, so Indian summer, and that probably has a lot to do with it. You see him walking off, and the cramp is very, very painful. Karpakis is a big loss, not both offensively and defensively, but Penn Hills has done a nice job neutralizing him defensively. They are sealing him off. If they're running a play to the right, they're creating a seal to keep him out of the play. He is their leading tackler.
Karpakis from
on the season, not tonight, but on the season.
He is from St. Ursula. You familiar with St. Ursula, Bob?
I sure am.
Where is St. Ursula?
It's in the Bloomfield, Shady Side, East Liberty area, up that way.
Dean does a nice job to get the pass completed out to the near side. No, the ball is dropped. It's incomplete. Bob Slowakowski drops the ball. So if Karpakis does not go to Central Catholic, he's attending somewhere like Peabody, one of the other City League schools.
Yeah, I think it's there.
I'm sure whatever team that missed out on him is.
It's kind of like good Catholic boys. And we're not playing at a Catholic university tonight.
It's apropos.
But trailing.
Dean with a deep drop, sets up the screen to Godfrey.
Nice job, excellent job
on a nice open field tackle. Dean Natale shakes off the block of Frank Piccolino and is able to bring down Godfrey on the open field tackle, and that looks like no gain, and it's 4th down, and Justin Deem into punt, but don't forget he is the quarterback. 4th and 9 with 2:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Clock running. Deem's kick up, bounces at the 5, gets into the end zone for the touchback. I think that's the first punt we've seen for a touchback this season. So the Indians will take over with 1:45 to go, 3rd quarter.
First kick we've seen for a touchback.
At their own 20. Yes, that's
well, you're making punt into the end zone. A kickoff in high school football, as soon as the ball breaks the plane, it's an automatic touchback. You don't have a choice of running it out, and we haven't seen any. So Penn Hills will get that at their own 20, and after a nice try, at least now they're going to try to take some time off if they don't get some points.
And look at this. The Indians go with 3 receivers. Dean Italian, Graham near side, Jeremy George far side, I formation, Livingston and Strader, and it is Strader, crosses the 25. And look at the Indians throwing in this 3 wideout formation.
And Justin Karpakis is still on the sideline trying to work free of that cramp right down here in front of us. Now he's got his helmet, and he seems to be free of that after some ice on it, but a nice pickup of 5 on 1st down for Strader.
So Karpakis will miss one more play. And the Indians now just split Graham wide. I like that 3 receivers split. Open things up for the Indians. And Strader gets the Indian first down. He needed to get to the 30, got out close to the 31-yard line. That'll move the sticks again.
I don't know, Bill, if you noticed on that play, without Karpakis in there, Central's linebackers were about 5 yards off the ball, whereas Karpakis in there, they're much more aggressive defensively. That time they were back off the ball, and a good penetration by the Penn Hills offensive line picks up the first down.
That's what Justin Karpakis does for you. I think when he goes to college, he'll be more of a he'll be a linebacker as opposed to a running back. It's Victor Strader again, bounces around everywhere, scampers for 5 yards. I don't know how he did that.
It's all
Got himself parallel, about 3 inches above the ground.
all individual effort.
We'll call that 5 yards worth of individual effort.
And a good job as he was being corralled at about the 32, got the arm down for some balance and fell forward for his third consecutive 5-yard pickup. And as we approach possibly the last play of the third quarter.
2nd and 5 for the Indians. Called a long 5, short 6. Is that the little man? No, it's Hoggy Livingston gets close to the first down. He'll be short about a foot, and that'll kill the third quarter. Only points so far in the second half. A touchdown run by Victor Strader. After 3, it's the Indians 19, the Vikings 10. You're watching Penn Hills Indians football 95. 12 minutes remaining in regulation. Fourth quarter about to get underway. The Penn Hills Indians 19, the Central Catholic Vikings 10. First place showdown in the Quad East. Both teams 6-0, 3-0 in conference play, and the Indians have the football just inside their own 40-yard line with a third and a couple of inches to go. And again, we look in the backfield, Ronnie Graham and Damon Gibson with Dwayne Thompson, and Thompson gets the first down. How could you not run behind those two? You have Gibson and Graham running behind the block of White and McCoy.
So you're talking basically 9 offensive linemen. And a quarterback and a running back. It's kind of like you drop in the sand. You're the stick, you're the pebble. We don't need that. Let's just run it up the middle. Hey, diddle, Thompson up the middle, first down.
Now Victor Strader works his way back into the backfield, and Strader with the carry bounces over the pile to pick up about 2, maybe 1. All right, we'll call it 1. Seen a new wrinkle in the Penn Hills Indian offense. 2nd and we'll call it 8 for the Indians. Damian Germany split to the far side. Looks like no one on him. That's Gottfried. Pitch to Thompson. Thompson looking for a block. And nice tackle by Mike Orlando to keep Thompson from breaking free. So now 3rd down for the Indians. As we approach 10:50 to go, fourth quarter, the Indians up by 9.
And considering they play by Orlando, if Thompson gets that room to the outside, he could break that easily into the secondary. But a great shoestring tackle and a grab and a hold on by Orlando stops Thompson for no gain.
Thompson comes to the near side, split. A little counter tray. Strader will pick up about 4. So it'll be 4th down. The Indians out to their own 48-yard line. Zakia will come in to punt. I think the Indians did exactly what they wanted, and that was run some time off the clock, although I'm sure they wanted to get points on the board.
Close to 4 minutes off, and time will become their ally. As we said, they have a 9-point lead.
The Indians going to punt. 10 Vikings on the line of scrimmage. Now it's 8. Zakia gets the snap and the kick. A high, deep kick. Beautiful kick by Zakia. Holman calls for the fair catch. Does a nice job to pull it in at the 19-yard line. And what a boot by Zakia. When you got a punter that can do that for you, that makes things easier for you as a coach. So now the onus, if you will, falls back onto the Indian defense.
Bill, we played just over 14 minutes here in the second half. Penn Hills has had the ball for 10.5 of those minutes on their 3 drives.
I'm sure at halftime, the coaching staff was preaching ball possession. Run the clock. Godfrey over to the left side. Gets away from Dina Talley, but doesn't get away from Victor Strader, but he's still close to a first down. I haven't seen much of Karpakis tonight, but I'm very impressed with Brian Godfrey, the forgotten man in that backfield.
Although well over 800 yards rushing, and maybe Karpakis, after being stopped twice and having some cramping problems in his leg, we're not seeing just a short yardage back, but Godfrey is definitely a great runner in his own right.
So 1st and 10 Vikings, 9:20 to go, 4th quarter. Indians up by 9. Jason Homan split to the near side. Havern split right. And Karpakis drags a few Indians for about 3. Drags 1 little, 2 little.
3 little Indians, and a good job by Jeremy George coming in from the side. Saw that Karpakis was stopped and would go down, tried to reach in there and just paw that ball loose. Couldn't actually do it though. Karpakis had trouble on the exchange from quarterback Justin Dean.
So now 2nd and 8. Slowakowski split wide to the near side. In motion is Riley. Dean, quick turning, looking for Homan. The pass is picked off by the Indians. Victor Strader. Strader at the 30, runs back. Victor Strader looking for some running room. Runs a long way to just get back to the 30. And the Indians come up with a big turnover. And the Central Catholic Vikings look snake-bit. Perhaps an unwise decision by Dean to put it into Homan into double coverage, but it went in and out of the hands of Homan and into the hands of Victor Strader, the tip drill.
Very catchable though, but Strader with the pick. And for Victor, interception number 4 on the season.
So we'll see what the Indians can do with the turnover. Pitch to Thompson, looking for some room on the right side. Gets a block, gets another block, and gets close to the 1st down. Thompson gets knocked out of bounds close to the 20-yard line with 8:13 to go in the 4th.
Stuck out of bounds by Ray Riley right at the yard mark.
You know, we talk about rivalries in the Quad East, and you saw the way the Indians were fired up the last couple of weeks against McKeesport and Woodland Hills. Those are a couple of teams that they truly hate. Would you go against the Central Catholic Vikings? And a lot of these kids on Penn Hills and Central Catholic are neighbors to each other, have known each other, a lot of the coaching staff. I don't know, Bob, I don't know if it's been me, but I noticed a lack of real intensity by the Penn Hills Indian defense tonight. Hasn't been that
intensity,
real,
but it's control.
Control hasn't been that real killer intensity like
you don't see a lot of guys
2 weeks.
slapping helmets and patting butts, jumping around after the play. They're just very businesslike tonight.
Di Natale split to the right, power I formation for the Indians. And it's Victor Strader. Strader down to the 15, gets the 1st down. And Strader getting close to the C note. So the Indians have a 1st and 10 at the 15, approaching 8 minutes to go, 4th quarter.
109 for Victor Strader.
So he surpassed.
So we got a pair of backs in the century mark.
I told Victor before the game.
That's awesome.
I told him, I said, you're the man. This is your game. And it has been, but it's been Dwayne Thompson's as well. As Hoggy Livingston just carries everybody down to the 3. Couldn't catch the number because he was dragging 3 Vikings over his back. But it's Hoggy Livingston down inside the 5. We'll mark it at the 4. 1st and goal for the Indians with 7:40 to go, 4th quarter.
This Penn Hills backfield and this offensive line, it is unbelievable running attack and doing the job tonight. Garrett Livingston, kind of the forgotten man sometimes, does a lot of great job blocking, but he is a bull of a runner, a big 11-yard pickup, and this could put Penn Hills on top of the score here very much cushion.
Hoggy Livingston, the first man through. Looks like he might have fumbled the football inside the 5, and he has. The Vikings have come up with it. Hoggy Livingston fumbles at the 2, and the Vikings come up with it, and the Indians return the favor. But the Vikings are pinned deep.
Yeah, but a huge break for Central, giving them some life.
Touchdown there would have been huge for the Indians. But the Indians allow the Vikings to remain breathing. 7:10 to go, 4th quarter.
But they got to go 97 yards to get a score.
With the ball at the 3. Karpakis and Godfrey in the end zone. And there's movement on the line of scrimmage and move it back to the 1.5.
How about this crowd, Bill? You see the people in the back of the end zone there are packed in. An outstanding crowd. Seating capacity is about 3,500 here. We have double that in attendance at Arthur J. Rooney Field.
Those people you see on the behind the end zone are not in bleachers. They're all standing and sitting on a hillside. You can't see it, but there's an equal number of folks on this side of the field.
So then they're going to go 98.5 yards.
You don't want to turn it over here. Pitch back to Mon Gibson, almost tackles Deem in the end zone, but Godfrey's able to get the ball across the 5. Gibson went in untouched and nailed Deem just as he pitched the ball to Godfrey. And if that was any kind of a play action there, it was 2 points for the Indians, and they were getting the ball back. But nice running by Godfrey gives them the breathing room slightly, get out to about the, we'll call it the, where are they, Bob?
About the 9?
Okay. So now 2nd and 4 for the Vikings. And again, it's Godfrey, and Godfrey this time is met by B.J. DiNatale and Damon Gibson, who comes up saying, not this time. So Godfrey having a good night tonight, not on that play. As we approach 5:50 to go fourth quarter, and the Vikings have to start thinking clock because they need 2 scores. They're down by 9 and 93 yards from pay dirt. On a 3rd and 6. Holman split near side. Havern right. Deems looking for Holman, and the ball overthrown, and Damian Germany says, I'm not touching you. So now it's 4th down for the Vikings. And do the Indians rush, or do they set up the return? I think they'll set up the return.
Yeah, but still, with he has limited room. Dean will have to punt this football, and I think you see some people coming out to try to block this punt, but you don't want to take a penalty. You got to be careful of that. You got to come in on a side angle and not hit into the punter. 5:29, the clock stopped with the incompletion. If he does get it off, Penn Hills stands to get great field position once again.
Although they are deep, don't forget Deem is the quarterback, and Central does need to pull out the stops.
And they set the return all the way. That's smart.
Short line drive kick. Strader lets it bounce. Clock continues to tick. And the Indians will take over at their own 43-yard line. Nice play by Strader to just let the ball go, to forego any risk at any sort of turnover, and also ticked a few seconds more off the clock.
You're still at the 43. You want to get a drive. Points would be a great insurance, but we keep mentioning this. Central Catholic, either way, right now, as it stands, they need to score twice to take the lead with the 9-point Penn Hills lead.
I think now you also start to see the Vikings taking some real chances on defense, bringing men, trying to strip the ball. This might be a good time for the Indians, although they do want to chew the clock, is perhaps try to go for some play actions or misdirections. But the Indians, I'm sure, aren't thinking points at this time. They're thinking clock. And it will be Thompson onto the right side. Thompson still on his feet, gets a first down. Thompson in Central Catholic territory at the 42. And Thompson ducking and shooting and spinning. Does whatever it takes. The market at the 43, still a first down for the Indians. Clock stops temporarily at 5:06 to go fourth quarter.
Pick up a 14. That is 10 first downs in the second half for the Penn Hills Indians.
Thompson again up the middle, spins, breaks one tackle, Thompson still going. Thompson 25-20, 2 men to beat. If he gets by Godfrey, touchdown Penn Hills. The little big man broke away from the speedster Brian Godfrey and gets into the end zone. And I think at this point, with 4.5 to go, fourth quarter, the Indians up by 15. You could almost say goodnight, Irene. Now for the Indians, you go for the 2 to make it 17. 1 for 16. I think you have to be safe and go for the 1. With the Vikings down by 16, where they need 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points to go.
I just want to tell you, Dwayne Thompson is some kind of runner. He's a junior. He's smallish at 5'10", 5'11", and 170, but he runs hard. And he is just an outstanding runner and a joy to watch. And touchdown number 12 on the season for TDDT, and
43 hard-earned yards.
Penn Hills goes for 2.
What an effort by Thompson. And they will go for 2. The Indians get to 2 points here. It's going to be awfully tough. And Strader gets into the end zone. 2 points. The Indians now up by 17. 27-10. Penn Hills, 4:36 to go, fourth quarter. And you talk about Central Catholic looking uphill. They're looking up Mount Everest.
Or at least the bluff.
You are truly the best color man in football.
But they'll still need 3 scores.
3 scores. That's why the Indians went for 2.
And Penn Hills has taken the momentum away since the 3rd down, less than a yard. They stopped Kerpekas twice. They punch it into the end zone. Since then,
first half.
they have turned it around right before halftime. Impressive.
Something fell out of the crow's nest. Certainly hope it wasn't Kevin.
Or maybe Mossy Murphy is one unhappy cat right now.
Zakia with a long kickoff. Godfrey's going to take it. No, it's not going to be Godfrey. Ray Riley will take it at the 5, and Riley looks for some running room, and he gets out to the 26. So now with 4.5, 4:29 to go, I don't think we're going to see much of Kerpekas running the football. I haven't seen much of Kerpekas this game running.
9 rushes and 26 yards, including the 2-yard touchdown run. But with the ball at the 23, Central has had a little bit of success passing. I'm sure you see them put it up. Teams got to know that you try to pick on the Penn Hills secondary. You made mention of it, kind of smallish. They put in Charis Britt to kind of counteract that. And I think, though, Central will try to put the ball up with only one back, Kerpekas, in the backfield.
And Kerpekas goes in motion. Look for a little maybe screen pass to Kerpekas. And the pass completed out of the slot formation, is Mike Rasciuto. Clock stops while they reset the sticks. But Rasciuto is just wide open over the middle on the short little pickup. Just over 4 minutes to go. But the Vikings got to start thinking big yardage.
Well, what happened there, they pump faked to Kerpekas, and that drew Graham up. Give him credit to run Rasciuto down from behind, but a pickup of 23 yards on first down.
Damon Gibson taking a breather. In comes Sean Buterbot. Nose tackle. And it's the Piglet. Sucking under Brian Godfrey. Corey Connors. Just sticks Godfrey for maybe a gain of a yard. As we approach 3.5 to go fourth quarter, and the Central Catholic Vikings can't be thinking about running the football. They need points, and they need them fast. But what a game this has been. And looking. Pass intended for Homan. Chichilla on the coverage. Also, Charis Britt playing the free safety, deep center field. So now 3rd down for the Vikings at their own 46-yard line. 3:08 to go fourth quarter. And this is definitely 2-down territory for the Vikings. Sort of a no-brainer. Game looking on the short screen. The ball is picked off by Ronnie Graham at the 50-yard line. And Graham will bring it back to the 45, and that should be all she wrote for the Vikings. Ronnie Graham on the tip drill. And with 3 minutes even to go, fourth quarter, the Indians up by 17 have the football. And just about have the game. And then for all intents and purposes, barring anything major in the world of upsets, the Quad East. I hate to say that, I'm knock on wood.
Very impressive effort. I'm impressed with the business-like effort. The coaching staff has done a great job preparing, and Penn Hills did the job tonight. They're going to have to take a timeout. They're a little confused now, but outstanding effort tonight.
So the Indians let 14 seconds run off the clock before they called the timeout to set things up. Could have let another 7 seconds go. That's okay. Neil Gordon comes on to address the troops, explain to them what they need to do. Nick Brown comes into the backfield. There's Hoggy Livingston in there. Jeremy George looks like he's going to be taking a breather. Number 64 is Scott Caravlan. The breather's getting rest. We see Craig Gilmer coming in. I have to enjoy AstroTurf, Bob, because you can still read the numbers. So I'm sure Coach Gordon is saying, just don't turn the ball over and run out the clock. You see the DJ DiNatale comes out. John Davidson, number 43, comes in. Corey Connors and Ted Fitzpatrick, number 50. And it looks like Nick Brown and his band of renown gets down to the 34. Nick Brown has been impressive in limited duty. We've seen him when he's taking the football.
He'll get the first down. Nick Brown now 4 carries and 30 yards, including a touchdown on him this year.
Beyond the blocking of Scotty Caravlan. Also in that sign, Sean Buterball. And again, it's Brown. Brown spins, gets to the outside, gets a first down for the Indians, comes back to the inside. What running by Nick Brown.
And his band of renown.
Out goes Jared Smith.
It's 2 carries and 23 yards for Nick. A great job by the offensive line, and this entire team has played outstanding tonight. They knew this was a big game, and they just took it business-like.
Randy Parker in its center. And again, it's Nick Brown. Brown just carrying Vikings with him. So the clock continues to roll. 1:45 to go fourth quarter. The Penn Hills Indians 27-10. The ball at the 18-yard line. Livingston up, Nick Brown deep. And this time it's Hoggy. Hoggy's holding on to the football. The Vikings trying to strip it. But Hoggy carries 3 Vikings about 3 yards. And the clock still rolls. Approaching 1:20 to go fourth quarter. The Indians aren't thinking points at this time. They're thinking clock.
Hoggy's done a great job.
Longo also into the game.
DJ Barry, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Hoggy Livingston. You like to run the ball, but he just does block so well backfield. And great job by the Hogs up there, the offensive lineman tonight.
Nick Brown up the middle. That's right, DJ Barry in a quarterback. Barry is a sophomore, number 9. Under a minute to go, 40 seconds, fourth quarter. So now it's 4th and a couple. And it's Nick Brown picking up the first down behind the blocking of Dennis Simmons. So Nick Brown gets the carry, and the Indians need not run another play. 25 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Clock begins to roll.
They don't even need to snap it.
They don't need to do anything. I don't know if these kids realize that or not. Barry lining up under center.
The coaching staff saw him to kneel on the football.
And that he does. DJ Barry kneels on it. Clock rolls. The Vikings come onto the field. The Indians come onto the field. The final score, the Penn Hills Indians 27, the Central Catholic Vikings 10. The Indians remain unbeaten. The Vikings fall to 6-1. What a ball game it has been. Game that's lived up to its billing. Again, the final score, Penn Hills 27, Central Catholic 10. We'll be back to wrap things up. You're watching Penn Hills Indians Football 95. On the turf at Arthur J. Rooney Athletic Field at Duquesne University, one of the most famous alumni at Penn Hills High School, Bill Freilich. And Bill, the last time the Indians were in a game like this with Central Catholic, you were on the field with Tommy Flynn and Dan Marino. What does it mean for the Penn Hills Indians to come away with a victory like this and having the Quad East championship in their grasp?
Well, I think it's, obviously for the program, it's great. It's another victory. I mean, when they're all added up at the end of the year, I don't think one will mean any more than any other. But, beating Central Catholic this week and who is an exceptional team and undefeated is obviously a big step for the program. And hopefully, they can continue to move forward.
You were along the sidelines tonight. The Central Catholic Vikings pulled out to 2 leads of 7-0 and 10-7. What was the mood like on the Penn Hills sideline?
Well, I haven't been on one for a long time, especially in high school, but, the kids seem to be very emotional throughout the whole thing, and, they weathered the storm, if you will, and, kept hanging in there and just kept pounding the ball at them, and, eventually in the end, I think they wore the Vikings down, and, I think the better team won.
The Indians have gone through 3 big Quad East opponents. They've gone through McKeesport, Woodland Hills, Central Catholic winning them all. Next week, they take on a team like Fox Chapel, much improved from last year, but still a team that really doesn't have the talent of a Penn Hills Indians. What do the Penn Hills Indians have to do to try not to let down against Fox Chapel?
Well, I think every time you walk out there, you're capable of getting beat, and if you don't, if you don't approach the game, games are usually not won and lost on Friday. They're usually won and lost on Monday through Thursday, and then, just coming out on Friday usually shows what, people have done to prepare for the game. You can't turn, it's not like a light where you can turn it off and on, and, it's going to be tough for them after a big emotional victory like this to come back and do the things they need to do to go out there and beat a team that they should beat. But, hopefully they'll do all that, and that's why they pay Neil Gordon all the big money to get those guys going in the right direction.
Final question for you. You've been on some great football teams. Does this Penn Hills Indian team seem like they have what it takes to go all the way?
Well, for 7 weeks now, I guess they have, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, they're about halfway there. But, that's the challenge. I mean, every week, you got to get better. You never stay the same. It's you either get better or you get worse, and hopefully they'll continue to move forward. And, it seems to me, from what I've seen, I haven't seen everybody else. They've got plenty of talent to do that, and hopefully they've got the heart and the desire and the luck that you need to have to go that far.
Well, hopefully they do. Big number 79 of the Penn Hills Indians, also the Pitt Panthers, Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions, Bill Freilich. Bill, thank you very much, and best of luck to all you do, especially in the insurance business now, and best of everything. I'm sure everyone at Penn Hills wishes you the same.
Thank you very much.
You're watching Penn Hills Indians Football 95. Coming into tonight's battle, the unbeatens in the Quad East, we knew, Bob, that only one team could come out still undefeated at 7-0. And fortunately for us, it was the Penn Hills Indians. They fell behind tonight on the Central Catholic Vikings, but surprisingly, they go with their longest pass play of the year, a 51-yard touchdown pass to Victor Strader to tie things up. But then after that, it's all Ground Gordon.
Indeed, an impressive Ground Gordon. Penn Hills with a great defensive stand of Central Catholic at Penn Hills 45-yard line. They have 2 cracks to get less than a yard. They can't do it. Penn Hills scores to go up 13-10. They never trilled since then. Talk about Ground Gordon. Dwayne Thompson, 183 yards rushing and a touchdown. Victor Strader, 109 yards rushing and a touchdown, including not including the pass catch that he had for a touchdown. All told, Penn Hills with 364 yards on the ground, 428 total yards. Very, very impressive.
You talked about the Kirpakis two tries to pick up less than a yard. The Indian defense holds, and it's just like the way the Indians have been all year. The defense setting up the offense, and that's what set the tone tonight. The defense very methodical throughout the game. That stand, and we kept calling it throughout the telecast, very businesslike. Not a lot of excitement, at least externally, but very, very businesslike effort and a great job. Central Catholic did put up some yardage. They had over 200 yards of offense also, but most of that came in the first half. In the second half, Central only ran 19 offensive plays. They were able to shut down Kirpakis, shut down Godfrey for the most part. The passing game gave him a little bit of trouble, but nonetheless an impressive 27-10 win. The Indians moved to 7-0. 4-0 in the Quad East. The Central Catholic Vikings dropped to 6-1. They are now 3-1 in the Quad East. Next week, the Penn Hills Indians, the Fox Chapel Foxes, and we don't want to talk about the Steelers and the Jaguars here.
It's a game, it's a tougher game that people will look at the records and say, oh, this should be a blowout. You cannot overlook Fox Chapel. You obviously spent a lot of emotion the last 3 weeks, and especially tonight, both teams being undefeated, but you don't want to overlook Fox Chapel, because if you do, you're liable to get beat. And then a good analogy, Pittsburgh and Jacksonville last weekend. So Penn Hills, I'm sure the coaching staff will drill into the players' heads not to overlook Fox Chapel.
The Penn Hills Indians, as I said, 4-0, in the Quad East. They now have the Quad East championship in their grasp. All they need to do is win 3 more games, and they get it.
Well, that's what you want. You want to be in control of your own destiny, and that's what they are. They win the 3 games, the 3 victories, as you said, and there's nothing anyone else can do about them winning the Quad East, and that's a comfortable feeling.
We talked so far through 7 games. The Indians seem to be alternating 100-yard rushers. Either it's Victor Strader or it's Dwayne Thompson. Tonight, both of them over 100 yards. Go figure, against a tough Central Catholic defense.
That's the beauty of Ground Gordon. Both of them ran hard. Both of them ran well. And what can you say? Dwayne Thompson, 2 more touchdowns, adding on to his total of 10, now 12. And Victor Strader with the 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground and 1 through the air.
Also give credit to the Penn Hills offensive line for opening up some big holes for those guys to run through. Again, the final score tonight, the Penn Hills Indians 27, the Central Catholic Vikings 10. Next week, the Penn Hills Indians, the Fox Chapel Foxes. You're watching Penn Hills Indians Football 95.